Good morning. This is the Board of Appeals, Town of Hempstead, September 18th, 2024, 9:30 meeting. Will everybody please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Chair, do you have any opening remarks?
Just a few. I see some new faces. For those of you who are here for the first time, we call the cases generally in order. The secretary will call them. Anyone interested in the case, whether you're the applicant or a neighbor or someone else who would like to be heard on the matter, you'll come forward. The applicant will sit here. Generally speaking, anyone else from the community who'd like to be heard will sit in this area and will be heard from that podium. We loosely apply the rules of evidence just because they make sense and are logical, but we're not an official courtroom, so they're more loosely applied in most cases than would be in a regular courtroom. We use our judgment as to what might be relevant and what we wish to hear. If you have not signed in the case you're here on, please come forward and do so. And then I guess if there are any other questions, feel free to ask them of the Secretary, Mr. Owens, to the board, or ask them once you come up. I think that covers it, Patrick.
Madam Chair, we do not have any applications for adjournment this morning. Would you like to begin with the renewal of grants tonight?
Yeah, let's take the renewals first.
Okay. So first, we're going to be calling case 576 through 57724, Uniondale Malibu Cafe, care of Arcelino Hernandez. Renewal of grants, use premises for place of public assembly and amusement, cabaret, live music and dancing, maintain variance and off-street parking, also known as 1055 Front Street. Sir, please stand and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Please take a seat and state your name and address for the record.
Robert Schauffeld, 85.
Hold on, sir. We have a court reporter. She's going to take it down. So if you mind pulling the microphone, tap it and make sure it's on too, would you? Okay, and try to speak loudly and clearly. It's more difficult to hear up here than it would seem.
Robert Schauffeld, 85 Grace Avenue, Great Neck, New York. I'm the attorney for the applicant.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You're here for the renewal?
Yes.
Okay, anything you'd like to tell us about it?
This was a variance. It was
Microphone.
Originally issued in March 2001. We've had countless renewals, and we've never had any issues that I'm aware of with the neighborhood or the operation of the premises.
Okay.
And everything has been maintained as it has been.
Okay, and just for the record, the building department inspected the premises on July 3rd of 2024 and found the applicant to be in compliance with all the conditions that were previously imposed by this board. Is anything else you wish to add?
No, thank you.
Okay, are there any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on the decision calendar. When the board does its deliberation, comes to a conclusion, you'll be notified.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Thank you, sir. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Next, we have case 57824, Belmore, Tommaso, and Sandra Genovese. Renewal of grant to maintain two-family dwelling, also known as 2100 Howe Street.
Patrick, I don't see anyone having signed in on that case. I want a second call it.
You want a second?
Well, actually, let me see. All right, it's a two-family, though. Should I I think, let's try second calling it, and we'll figure out after that. Yeah, that's what we're going to second call it.
Next, we have case 57924, East Meadow, Uniondale Venture Partners. Renewal of grant to use part of premises for coin-operated laundromat, 37 washers, and 24 dryers, also known as 351 through 353 Merrick Avenue. Swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Yes. Please take a seat and state your name and address clearly into the microphone.
Hi, my name is Ki Kwan Rang. My address is 2062 Waltaffer Avenue, North Belmore, New York, 11710.
And you're here for the renewal of the laundromat
Yes.
operation that was granted previously?
Yes.
Okay, is there, For the record, the building department inspected the premises on July 16th of 2024 and found that you have been in compliance with all the conditions that were previously imposed by this board. Is there anything else you wish to add?
No, everything's fine. Thank you.
Okay, all right. If not, then do I have a motion?
I move the hearing be closed and the case placed on the decision calendar. When the board deliberates and comes to a conclusion, you will receive a written notice.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Oh, I'm sorry, second? All in favor?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, we have case 58024, Near Valley Stream, Sheikh Saad and Zassan Hassan. Renewal of grant to maintain 6-foot-high fence in the principal front yard of dwelling on Central Avenue, which may substantially obstruct line of sight, also known as 2 Arkansas Drive. Madam Chair, there is an application for an appearance waiver on this application.
Okay. Given that it is a fence and that no one has signed in opposition or wishing to be heard on the matter, we'll grant the appearance waiver. Let's see. The building department inspected the premises on July 15th and found the applicant to be in compliance with all the previously imposed conditions. Do I have a motion from the board?
I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on the decision calendar. When the board deliberates and comes to a conclusion, we will send written notice to the applicant.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have case 58124, Elmont, Sharon de Blasi. Renewal of grant to maintain 6-foot-high wood fence forward of dwelling on Madison Street, which may substantially obstruct line of sight, and 4-foot-high picket fence within the clear sight triangle, also known as 118 Crown Avenue. Madam Chair, there's an application for appearance waiver on this renewal as well.
Yes, and it being a residential application for a fence also, and there being no one here in opposition or wishing to be heard, we will grant the appearance waiver. The board inspected the premises on July 5th of 2024, found the applicant to be in compliance with all previously imposed conditions. In that case, do I have a motion from the board?
I move the hearing be closed, the case placed on the decision calendar. The applicant will be notified of the board's decision once we deliberate.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
The application for the, listed first on the calendar for the Kiwanis of Franklin Square will be heard shortly. We're going to hear a few other cases so that we can wait for Chairman Regano to be here for that case.
First, we have case 58224, Garden City South, Julia Sensoprano. Variance, lot area occupied, maintain roof over open porch attached dwelling,
Thank
also
you.
known as 281 Houston Road.
Good morning, Leo Pazinski, architect for the Sensopranos, 100 Clinton Avenue, Mineola, New York, 11501.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So I don't use the official
Okay,
one.
let the lady introduce herself,
Oh,
please.
Sorry. I'm Janice Sensoprano, 117 Hayes Street, Garden City, New York, 11530.
Thank
Good
you.
morning.
Good morning. So the Sensopranos purchased this house with the porch already built. Originally, the house had a structural work, included a raised platform in the front that was supposed to be built at 5 feet. The contractor built it at 5.6 feet, and then decided to put the roof over it before we had the benefit of the zoning variance meeting.
So it would not have needed a variance had it been built at the lower level and not added a rooftop.
Once we
So it
added
was
the roof-
permitted encroachment at that time.
Correct.
Okay, when did you buy the house?
April of 2023?
Okay, and it was there when you purchased it?
Yes.
And then just for the record, you're allowed 27.5%. It looks like your proposed coverage is 29.7%. Does that sound right?
Correct.
Okay, and other than that, you have no other variance requests before this board?
None.
Okay. Is there anything else you wish to add?
Just Just wanted to say that's one of the smaller lots in that particular district, if you can see the radius map. And so probably, the board has approved these for me previously in the past. It's a minimal encroachment and minimal lot coverage.
Okay, one moment.
Yes, I do. So there was an application and a permit issued for a deck,
A raised platform, brick platform,
and you received a building permit for that.
and that with the interior work also. But
Okay,
then,
I'm just interested in what's before the board.
Yeah,
Thank
he
you.
said that they built it a little bit higher, so it was no longer permitted, and then they put a roof on it. That's what caused the permit to not be valid.
So it's not the roof over that caused it?
Well, he said. See, whatever height, I don't know,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
assuming,
what-
he was supposed to be one height, and he's like, built whatever, 6.
You built a platform or a deck, which you received a building permit for,
correct,
and then you put a roof over it, and that created a variance?
correct. Because we had to maintain and legalize the porch and not a raised platform. And you can see from the drawings, I set it in purposely so they could build the roof after we received your approval. The contractor went ahead and did it with the previous owner, not the Sensopranos.
Colleen, did you hear that testimony? And would that be accurate, that the fact that a permit was issued for a deck without the need for a lot area occupied, and now they put a roof over it and it requires a lot area occupied? It's confusing to me. Further questions?
Ms. Adams, do you have any questions? Okay, if there are no further questions, may I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed. Matter placed on the decision calendar. Everyone who signed in will be notified by mail of the board's decision once rendered.
Second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you so much.
Next, we have case 583 of 24, near Bethpage.
doing this.
Igor Murkeski
That's the
and
old case.
Biljana
This is my second call,
Kozlowska.
so don't take.
Variances, side yards aggregate, construct second floor addition, open below attached to dwelling, also known as 12 Raymar Court.
Tina Pangallo, 549 Hempstead Turnpike, West Hempstead, New York, 11552.
Morning, Ms.
Good morning,
Pang-
Chairman, members of the board.
Good morning, Ms. Pangallo.
Representing Igor Mariski and Belijah Kozowska of 12 Raymore Court in Bethpage. The property is located on the north side of Raymore Court,
Patrick to fix this.
310 feet
can't get
west
it.
of Wantua Avenue in the LPRD district. We're
Ms.
requesting a-
Pangallo,
Yes.
Before you get into the nuts and bolts of this, I was there yesterday, and a site plan that's submitted to the board is not accurate.
I was there to take pictures of the pool the other day, and I did see that there was a shed
Ooh.
with the pool removal, because there was a pool there, and I wanted to make sure it was removed before the hearing. So I went there to take pictures to show that the pool was removed, and it was removed, but I also noticed there was a shed behind the shed that has a permit, and then a rubber shed in the side yard that also is not on the plot plan and will be removed. But I did
Nor
prepare
is-
another plot plan to show those two things.
Nor is a fence, there's a fence there.
The fence, yes, the fence is there.
It's not shown on a plot plan.
Okay, so let's back up. Ms. Pangallo, you said will be removed after you listed two sheds that weren't previously on the site plan. Were you referring to the, one of those sheds being removed or both of those sheds being removed?
Both of those sheds being
So the
removed.
two sheds are to be removed, and you've now put them on the plot plan after
Correct.
visiting yesterday or whenever. In
Yes.
addition to, what about the, Mr. Pellegrini, where's the fence? Do you both agree there's a fence that's not on the site plan? That exists?
No, I thought the fence was on the site plan.
In the front.
We have a permit for the fence.
It's not on the site plan.
Hold on here. Joe.
Oh, sure, so that's the sheds to be removed. I don't have a couple copies here. One more than one. Okay.
The fence is in the middle.
And, okay, here is,
It's about in the middle of the house, here.
So this line
looking
here,
for her fence.
this line here is actually here? Or maybe that's not even a fence line, that's
That's
just
a
a measurement
dimension
line.
line, 3.3, by the way, which is ridiculous.
Okay,
Is there
this
also
is
a
the
fence
fence.
here?
No, here it is. This is the front of the house, this is the fence.
Oh, so it looks to me like Mr. Pellegrini is indicating that where the site plan shows the fence, hold on. Site plan's a little confusing as to where the front of the house is. I think that's causing some of the, because look.
Oh,
Miss-
is she showing the fence in the wrong location in the
Well,
front?
it's not clear, Ms. Pangello, the hashed area, so you're here for a second level with the open below, right?
Correct.
And so there's a hashed area that at first glance looks like where the house comes forward. It's the hashed area that is actually even with what's shown as the side fence, right?
Yes,
Okay, so I at first glance thought that was the front of the house, but I see the front of the house is further forward, right?
correct,
The fence is halfway in the middle of the side of the house, roughly. So
correct.
that hatched area, is that, oh, I see, part of its interior alterations.
Right.
And then the second floor is that section, the part that's second floor only open below is that section in the back.
Right.
Okay, so it may be, it's a little confusing, but it may be that the fence is shown in the right location.
This is the fence plot plan that she submitted. That's the,
All right, okay, so we got it, right? We're good there.
the construction was taking out the pool.
But
So
it
the
needs
fence
a,
was there because the pool was there.
it needs a 3.3-foot side yard.
Correct.
Is this addition been built with a 3.3-foot side yard?
No, this is all proposed. There was dirt in the front of the house when
Yes.
I was there from the pool, because they're filling in where the pool was. Here, let me give you a
The one
picture
in the
of what,
file does.
of the pool removal.
This is,
So, let me, first of all, where's the site plan Ms. Pangella brought in with the sheds? Okay, so we marked it. Shed to be removed. Shed to be removed.
Yes.
Okay.
So here's the photo of the pool removed.
Okay, so, Ms. Pangella, as I understand it, you didn't know there were two sheds that had to be removed until you visited recently?
That's correct.
And when do we expect those sheds to be removed? Save those all.
I will let them know to remove them within a week or so, as soon as possible. The one in the back is a rusty old shed that they'll take down, and the one on the side is a simple vinyl shed, plastic shed they could remove. No, this is all proposed work that they are doing because they have 3 children, so they want to make a master bedroom and a bathroom and then a room for each of their 3 boys. So this is all proposed.
We'll finish hearing the case. We'll make a decision later, but it's likely that we would put it on reserve until such time as those sheds are removed and you give us something showing they are. Okay,
Sure.
we'll figure that out, but that's likely what will happen, okay?
Yes, I did explain that was
I'm
most
going to
likely.
give counsel to the board these documents to shore up our files, to make sure that we're going to have to void those others. There are also some in there that don't show the fence, oddly enough, so either way, we'll get that administrative aspect settled down. Okay, is there anything else you'd like to add, Ms.? Oh,
Okay.
did we get your numbers on?
Yes, so the property is in irregular shape. The side yard for the addition starts at 9.93, and the rear portion of the addition goes to 3.3. The side yard aggregate required is 15 feet, and the aggregate provided is 8.22 at its closest point.
8.22 versus,
I also have a letter from the neighbor who is directly next door, where this would affect, saying he has no objection to the board granting
What's
this
the
variance.
purpose of
hold
the-
on, we'll accept that evidence, that letter and evidence. Go ahead.
What's the purpose of the addition?
It gives them a master bedroom and a bathroom, and then the 3 boys will each have their own bedroom.
Ms. Pangello, I just missed the number. I got the 8.22, but I was shuffling papers. What's your side yard proposed?
3.3.
Okay, on just the one side, okay.
That's-
All right.
Could-
Is,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, I was going to close it, so.
No, I think it's, I think there should be an alternate design rather than 3.3-foot side yard.
Even though it's just at that one point, whereas it's 9 point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
3.3 is big difference between that and 5 feet when there's an emergency in the rear yard. A fire, apparatus can't get through there. That's the way they do that.
Well, I guess if that's, whatever the board
I
decides.
understand.
Right,
we'll have
we'll
to-
take that up in our deliberations. Okay, is there anything else you'd like to add, Ms. Pangello?
No, thank you.
All right. Are there any other questions from the board? If not, is there a motion? Make a motion.
The decision calendar, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once rendered.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I want to
Okay.
see the search.
Next, we'll be calling case 138824, Franklin Square, Kiwanis of Franklin Square. Amusement rides special event duration September 19th, 2024 through September 22nd, 2024, also known as Town of Hempstead Parking Lot FS3.
Dawn, I'm sorry. Get,
How many people signed in?
I'm cooking. Oh.
No, he didn't.
I'll highlight
You don't have to, just give it to him. I would give this to the applicant, and so that he can comment, let him read it.
The secretary to the board's providing letters
Some letters in opposition.
in opposition so that maybe you can review those while we go through the
comment.
case and be prepared to comment on them. So we have both sides of the story.
Thank you.
Well, you know what? Go ahead. Why don't we?
Sarah.
Yeah, and we want you both to review. Are you here as a neighbor? Okay, so if you, maybe you guys could sit near one another somewhere so you can pass them, you should share both read them.
For the next case.
Go on. Next, we have case 58424, Point Lookout, Harold Wansell. Variances, side yard, rear yard, install generator on raised platform attached to dwelling, also known as 105 Belmore Avenue.
Good morning, members of the board.
Morning.
Yes, my name is Dean Katsubis. My
Review
address
these.
is 121 Newbridge Road in Hicksville, New York, 118.
Mr. Katsubis, could you speak a little louder and into the microphone, because
Okay.
some of us can't hear what you're saying?
Once again, my name is Dean Katsubis. My address is 121 Newbridge Road in Hicksville, New York, 11801. I am here this morning on behalf of Mr. Wanzal. He's the owner of the property located at 105 Belmore Avenue in Point Lookout. Mr. Wanzal is 88 years old. He is a longtime resident of Point Lookout and also an ex-chief of the Point Lookout Fire Department. He is looking to install a generator. The generator will be proposed to be located on the back corner of the property, the northwest corner of the property, leaving setbacks of 1.5 feet to the side and 2.83 feet to the rear, where 5 feet and 5 feet are required. Being that this lot is rather small and the houses are rather large in that area, this was the most logical location on the property to install the generator.
Mr. Katsubis, have you been to the premises?
Yes, I have.
Okay, the note on the site plan says shed to be removed.
Yes.
Has it been
Has it been?
removed?
It has not been removed.
Okay, how much time is your client going to need to remove that?
Okay, he plans, so I spoke to my client about that, about this. Okay, about the shed that does not have a permit and is to be removed. There's also an awning which has to be removed as well. He's aware of that, and they will do it when they're building the generator, and it's on the plot plan, and that he knows that it has to be.
Wait, so he's not removing it unless we approve his generator, and then only thereafter he'll agree to remove the shed?
I can't speak for my client.
Okay, well, we can just set a time limit and
Yeah.
likely hold the decision on that matter. Well, we'll deliberate about it. I thought you would give me a time limit, but,
Yeah.
okay.
May I continue?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so the generator is necessary as he states, there are more frequent power outages in the area and longer response times from the utility company. In addition to, just the luxury and convenience of a generator, it is necessary as he does use a CPAP machine, which I also submitted a doctor's note, to that effect. The generator is also necessary because he does have a basement in this house, and there are pumps which should need to be running in case of, flood water to keep the pumps running. So the generator is necessary for those aspects. It is screened to the north from the neighbor's garage, and it's far enough, it's far from his house and any other neighbor's houses or windows. He will set, he He will set the generator to test run at a time that's acceptable for the neighbors. And I'd also just like to add that generators, whole house generators, are quieter than portable gas generators in the event of long-term power outage. He has no objection from any of his neighbors, and kindly request this board's approval.
Mr. Katsubis, we have a couple letters here from interested parties that raise an issue that we usually raise on our own, which is, and we have some knowledge about how these generators work. I assume that this generator is going to cycle once a week for a half an hour or an hour?
It's 10 minutes,
10 minutes, how many times a week?
but once a week.
Okay. And can it be set to do so, for example, in the middle of the day when most people are at work?
Absolutely. I spoke to my client about this, and he's aware that they'll set it at a time when acceptable to the most affected neighbors.
So I'm going to consider it no more than half an hour once a week at a time that's somewhere between, 10 and 3 or something like that.
That makes sense.
Okay, and we'll articulate whatever conditions there are in there. So I'm just going to read you, it says they're very short, the two letters we received, in case you wish to make a comment, okay? First one is interested from a neighbor. I have no objection for the application or one condition that the hours of daily or weekly schedule routine, AKA running on generator, considered operation maintenance of the generator shall be during the business hours of Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5. Okay, so we've already talked about hours that are more constrained than that. Same thing, interested, concern is scheduling of the test cycle, and regarding the timing and volume of the generator, requesting the timing to be midday, not early a.m., etc. So I think if you wish to comment further on those, you can. I think we've addressed that issue, and we'll address it in any decision.
That is a standard protocol for generators, whether they need a variance or not. It's,
Yes.
The client.
Yeah,
my
we know
client
that.
is
We just want to make sure that
is
we're all in,
aware that it's not going to run on a Sunday morning or something where people are sleeping. So.
right. Okay,
So he is aware, and they'll set it to an appropriate time.
okay.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Katsubis, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered. Thank you.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
So what's the next case? Are they ready? Are they ready? Okay, call them back. Call them back.
Give us a different case already. Wait a second. Hold on.
Dawn,
Let's do the case roll.
we're going to do 585, 586 first.
Because we have the materials already.
Next, we're going to call cases 58524 through 58624 near Valley Stream. Leone Burke, variance lot area occupied, construct addition attached to dwelling, variance side yard, maintain AC unit attached to dwelling, also known as 1014 Francis Drive.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Diana Laspisa with Morano Expediting Services, 2938 Hempstead Turnpike, Suite 212, Levittown, New York, 41756.
Morning.
Good morning. I'm here on behalf of the property owner, Leone Burke, and we're here before you requesting permission to construct a proposed sunroom addition onto the rear of the dwelling, exceeding the maximum allowed lot coverage from 27.5% to 29.28%. And we are also before you to maintain the AC equipment, holding a side yard setback of 3 feet, where the required is 5 feet. At the time of making the application for the proposed sunroom was when it was brought to Ms. Burke's attention that the AC unit was non-compliant. She purchased the house in 2006, and it was existing at that time. I will note that the property directly to the north, that is the side of their garage on that side, so there's no like bedrooms or habitable space on that side of the home. And the AC equipment does hold the equivalent setback of the chimney itself, so it's not projecting any further into the side yard. As far as the sunroom will be unheated. It will be used seasonally. This property, the property to the east, is owned by the county, so it is vacant land. The property is heavily vegetated, and it won't be visible from any of the neighboring homes. If the board has any questions?
Any questions? If not, do I have a motion? Mr. Pellegrini?
Apparently it's shed removal day, so apparently
Yes.
the plot plan indicates there's a shed to be removed.
Yes.
Has
so-
it been removed yet?
It hasn't. So typically what we usually do is it's contingent, they would never be able to close the permit out. So that's how we've always done it in the past. If the board has an issue with that, it's just because the contractor at the time of doing the sunroom, they have the dumpster there. It's nothing for them to remove it and for them. And the inspector verifies. When they go out and do a final inspection, they make sure that it matches. And if that shed is not removed, they won't get their CO. So that was the intent, just to have the assistance of the contractor. If the board's not comfortable with that, then I'll talk to the owner.
Okay, that's a reasonable explanation.
All right. Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Ms. Laspisa, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Yeah. Go back.
Okay, we're going to recall case 138824 Franklin Square, Kiwanis of Franklin Square, amusement ride special event, duration September 19th, 2024 through September 22nd, 2024, also known as the Town of Hempstead Parking Lot, FS3. Gentlemen, I have you sworn in from earlier. Just again, your names and addresses for the record.
Pat, can someone hand us back those letters now so we can
Comments?
go through them and either, well, individually so we can hear what the response is?
Go ahead. No, take it. Yes, sir. You're the applicant.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Gregory Cajus, past United States Marine Corps veteran, past Lieutenant Governor of Kiwanis International, Franklin Square. I'm asking the board to allow us to have another fundraiser, which that's what we did last year around the same time. And proceeds go to disabled veterans, Franklin Square High School, and Children of the World. We had a very successful one last year. We didn't have any altercations, any problems, or anything. Larry, which is right next to me, I've known him for years, and quite shocked to hear that he's here, you know, and he gives a lot to the community and does a lot for the community. So I found out that there were some discussion of people not wanting us to have this. I'm sorry for my voice. Some people wanting to deny this permit. So I've done everything. I've had security, which I will have again. We've had a police car that was patrolling all 4 nights, which was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We located the fire department. They were even there. We had the sanitation, which Sanitation 6 took care of everything. We had porta potties, and we had security. So I'm always willing to work with anyone. I don't want to, I'm a business owner also, so I never want any problems with any other business owners. So I'm here to try to answer any.
We've also we've also had several complaints that it's being set up prior to the time that the town board gave approval. And that was the case last year, as we understand it. It's the case this year. I have to tell you, I've been sitting on this board in excess of a decade. I have never seen any other organization or any other program that has received the kind of opposition that we have here. Something is not being done correctly. Next year, you come back before us. I don't want to hear that it's being set up prior to the time it's supposed to be set up, And there, as you can comment on these issues, you said there were no issues last
None.
year. A
Yeah,
lot of
I'd
other
like-
people beg to differ with you.
I would like to go through them individually, not just for you to comment on them, but if you're allowed to go forward this year, I'd like to address whatever we can address so the same issues don't occur. So the first one, I know you've read it, but let's just go through them individually, is a concern about security, some boy was beaten, there's violence, et cetera.
Yeah.
So how's that,
There
what
were-
specifically
I was
can...
there.
Hold on.
I was there.
What specifically, whoever wrote this said there was a gang of kids chasing, went by him. Whatever it is, what specifically is going to be done this year
Differently.
that we can, to ensure that we don't have young
More security.
people getting out of control?
More security. If-
What do you
if
have,
needed.
private
Yeah, yes,
security?
we have private, yes.
How many did you have last year?
We had 3, and you only need 2, but I'll have 4.
Are they wearing specific garb to
Security.
indicate their security?
These are security that are licensed security guards.
But do
No, no.
they
Do
look
they
like
have
licensed security
on the
guards?
back?
Oh, yes, they have yellow shirt security, and it says that on the back. Yes, you can't miss them. They even work at my nightclub.
Do they look scary? Because that would help.
Yeah,
Like, you know, do they look
are.
like they're wearing tactical
Yeah, my
gear, or
dear-
do they look like the usher at the church?
Listen, no, they're very big, intimidating guys. That's why we didn't have any problems. I don't know why anyone said there was anything like that.
Okay,
So
but
that
I
can
don't
guarantee.
even, I'm less concerned about, look, somebody has his concerns. Let's deal with
Yes.
them. So how many, you had 3 last year and now you're proposing 4.
4.
How many rides do you have there?
It's about
Roughly.
nine.
Okay, how many
rides.
other tents with food, let's say, roughly?
No, there's I think there's 1 food truck.
Okay, how many
There's
games?
There's like about 3 games, 3.
3
trailers of
games, 9 rides, and 1 food truck.
Yeah.
How many
it's not a
people-
big-
Any alcohol being served?
I'm sorry.
Any alcohol?
No, absolutely not.
How many,
Absolutely.
how many people do you estimate attended this function last year?
Oh, I couldn't. I don't know. This is
20?
the first time. Oh no, more people.
2,000? For the whole time?
For the whole time total, I'd say 1,000 if I throw a number.
Okay, so do we think that 4 security people is sufficient for 1,000 people? And I have teenagers.
Right.
I take my kids to these things and I look at them saying, I won't say the words that I say to my
Right.
kids, but I see 300, 400 teenagers, a lot of boys, a lot of girls, and they look like they're up to no good.
Right.
And my kids too, and I get on them. Like, they're just there to hang out, and so I'm frankly for security people, for 1,000 people, most of whom are likely teenagers
Yes.
who are often getting themselves into mischief.
Yes, 100%.
I
have
think
young
that,
ones.
I think that my personal opinion is that's not enough security people. And is it possible to have more than
I
4?
can have more if that would please the board, by all means.
I think something like that makes sense. So let's go
Okay,
to the
then.
next thing. There's this concern that the festival is taking place right next to traffic, and this person thinks that the traffic should be closed. I'm not suggesting it should, and that the traffic is going very fast through there. The people attending are too close to the traffic. They're concerned about safety in that regard. What say you?
There's no traffic there. You only have the church. You have Hempstead Turnpike, but we're behind. We're not near Hempstead Turnpike where the traffic is going.
Are there
because there's only 1 block and that's the church. And then there's nobody really going. That's like behind the carnival and in between the church.
Is this event being held on the road that runs adjacent to the church, off New Hyde Park Road and then west?
Yeah, New Hyde Park Road.
About Holzheimer Street. You're speaking of Holzheimer Street.
Is that where it is held?
Now, that street's open, that is a thoroughfare, and unfortunately, on a regular day, people, especially young people, do speed down that road.
So where is this event being
The
held?
parking lot between Holzheimer Street and behind the storefronts and Taco Bell on Hempstead Turnpike.
Up, okay.
There's no traffic.
To the extent,
Shouldn't be.
is there any portion of this premises that is housing this event that abuts a street? And if so, and I think, are there like barricades or something?
Yes, they have from sanitation, we get the barricades. We put and that's where the police stay at the corner. From the 5th Precinct, Lieutenant Jacobs is the one that puts a patrol car there.
Okay, next issue music very, very loud. So first of all, a standard rule we have is music has to be done by 10,
Right.
right? If people think it's too loud, you got to turn it down.
Right.
I mean, whatever you had it at last year, turn it down.
Right.
Okay, just without getting a complaint, get
Right.
it turned down. Okay, end it all by 10. Next thing, there are complaints that you're breaking down the rides and et cetera at all hours of the night. When are you, first of all, I understand it's already being set up, correct?
I'm sorry? It's
Okay.
starting to be set up, yes.
Okay.
It is fully set up.
Okay.
If it says it's fully set up, it is.
Given that the music has to stop at 10, I just don't see a reason why setup, because it sounds like it's noisy, should be happening after
During the
10 at
day.
night or something like that. I mean, as a board, we can figure out what
Yes.
time makes sense. Maybe we'll consult with the building department. They probably have some regulations regarding this. But again, we can't have setup and breakdown late at night.
Right.
It's loud, et cetera. And then one of the last issues raised on this letter was that if someone does have an issue, they have no one to contact at that moment. How do we solve that?
I'm there. I will be
Okay,
there
how do
full
they
time,
know
and-
who you are?
And most people know me in Franklin Square. I've been around and I'm there, and I wear my big Kiwanis shirt, and you have to walk by me. You have to. And then I have two other members that are also Kiwanis members, that they wear shirts, and they know it's run by Kiwanis. If there's any questions or any issues, it'll be brought up to me.
Do you have-
And that's
is-
why I'm sorry.
This might be weird. Is there some way, like there can be at your information booth or your main booth, there
I
can be a
can-
sign
I
that
can have
says, if you have an
problems,
issue,
I can
call
have
this
that done.
number?
I can have that done. I'll have that done.
Okay. Also, I've been informed that for at least some of the people attending, they don't feel that the security people are sufficiently identifiable. So I think
Okay.
we need more security people, and I think they need to look bad,
Okay.
you know what?
Okay.
And they need to be easily
Easily
identifiable in
Okay.
their garb, okay?
Okay.
These young kids need to know that this is not a place you get to mess around.
Right.
You got to follow the rules, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You want me to go over the other one? I probably is the
What's the
same.
other one?
Hold on. Who's Greg Badis?
I'm Greg Kajus.
Oh, it looks different.
I misspelled
Oh,
his
they
name.
misspelled it in
Yeah,
the...
that is Larry.
Okay. All right, so now we've addressed that. And you said you did notify the local precinct?
Yes, ma'am. Lieutenant Jacobs.
You have the sanitation set up?
Yeah. Security. That constitutes your case.
Yes,
Is that
sir.
correct? All right.
Yes, sir.
Sir?
Good morning.
Louder.
First off, he's
Name,
not a-
address?
Speak into the microphone,
Hi,
please.
My name is Larry Talt. I know Greg for years, I just disagree with him on this. Number one, they, just like last year, they were there a week early. They started dropping off stuff on Friday. By Saturday, we had like 7 things in the parking lot, which took up an enormous space, because each one of these things take up 3-4 spaces.
Wait, now tell us how that, because that's part of not setting up late at night, in my mind. Tell us how that adversely affects you and/or the
Well,
community.
it adversely affects me and the other merchants on the turnpike, because it takes away tremendous amounts of parking spots.
Okay.
Each one of these things would take 3-4. It also impacts the church.
So it's taking up parking spaces that otherwise are usually used to frequent the establishment and
Correct.
the joke. Keep going.
I just want to preface it by, I've been a merchant there for over 10 years, and now there's been numerous events in that parking lot. Every group that had it would come to the merchants and try to work out things, and minimize the impact. At one point, my daughter had a barbecue restaurant there, and they knew she had a food truck. They told her to bring the food truck. They didn't charge her, try to create new customers for them. She did make a donation to them. There was also the bakery. They said, set up your thing. They did their gelato and stuff to try to minimize the
Include
impact.
them in the event.
Correct.
Think you could do that?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Well, it's a little too late for that at this point. But the thing is that the stuff was there on Friday, then more Saturday, and I've turned around, it gets to a point that, somebody's just telling you the hell I'm doing what I want and being a bully about it. They started, when I got there Monday, they had stuff all through the lot. Yesterday I go in there, they had the lots shut down, they had signs all over, which I showed Greg, said the lot was closed from Tuesday to Sunday. They shut everything down.
Last Tuesday to this Sunday?
From yesterday And I had signs, I sent them to Councilman Muscarella's office, I sent pictures of it, that they had signs on the town parking lot sign saying the lot was closed. They barricaded it. I had to drive over the sidewalk to get into the lot to get to my store yesterday. Now, I'm sorry, that's just wrong. And also, I gotta say, something about the town rule is wrong, that you have a meeting today for something that would go into effect tomorrow.
Yeah,
There should be a few
it's usually
months in
sooner.
advance.
It's
It
usually
should be at
sooner.
least 90 days. And I know Greg for years, we talked over here, there's things that we could have solved prior and made the impact less on each. Personally, I think it should have been over by Rath Park, but that's my own opinion, because it's closed for the summer, and it's a bigger lot, and it's, easier for security. And as far as what he was saying about security, I agree with you. There needs to be a lot more, because even though my business suffered because my customer count went down by like 80%, I had to keep a full staff there because I was getting robbed. I have front doors and back doors, people coming in, grabbing stuff and going out. This
You
was
mean
all
for-
last year. So, it's like, work with us, not against us. I have, all the years people ask for permits, I've never made a comment, I've always tried to work with them. But this is 2 years in a row that myself and the other merchants around there were getting destroyed.
But this is your third year?
Second.
Okay,
Second,
so
ma'am.
now, now we learned something, right? Now you learned something about how to work, it's a learning process, I get it.
The other thing is last year, they had stuff there for over a week after the event.
We're going to address
And
that.
it's-
That's one of the things I'm
But
going to
it's like I
comment
got
on in a
destroyed.
second.
I mean, it's
Understood.
like I lost for an entire month, I made no money, neither did my other
We-
fellow
we-
merchants, but my bill still had to get paid.
We have it on good authority that they were in the lot for several days after the event, the workers sleeping in the trucks. This year, you can notify them that public safety is going to tow them.
Yes.
If they don't break it down,
What time do you finish Sunday?
the last day.
Sunday at 9.
9 PM?
Yes, 9 p.m.
All right, and we don't, so,
And you know
better
what, so
be
I can
out
have
there.
everything done, and I'll be there while they take
Well, we don't
everything
want you
down.
doing it past
Right,
10 at night, though.
Yeah, right at night. So Monday, see, I didn't know for the time to set up and whatever, and it's like they did last year, a couple of days prior to, and I didn't think it was, so it's my fault.
Understood.
I figured they had to set up.
Understood.
And they didn't block. I mean, they put all the trailers on one side. He does have, we even worked with his son. His son, he's another great guy. And we said, we closed off part of the parking lot so that he could have all his deliveries, so that we wouldn't like
Understood.
that. And they were great with us, and that's what we were doing this year. I
Okay.
do understand his concern about it, for the things being left or whatever, or early. I could definitely cut that. That
okay,
wouldn't be a
wait,
problem.
the breakdown we're talking about is rides and game booths, right? How long does it take,
They can do it in a
hours-wise?
day.
Is it an 8-hour project? 10 hours? What?
Well, I'm sorry.
How long does it take to break everything down?
I'd say probably in about 5-6 hours, I think.
Okay,
Excuse me.
so,
Excuse me, from
Yes.
last year, and speaking to the guy, Sean, who runs the crew, puts it up, he told me it takes at least minimum of 3 days to put it up, as they have to get inspected. And because they have to get inspected by the state also, once it's
Right.
put together.
Right.
It takes at least 2 days to take it apart. And that's where
Wow.
everything just starts going. And also, you asked, what time were they working? Yesterday, when I got there at 7 o'clock in the morning, they said they were already working since 2 a.m.
Right, well, we're going to address that, those hours that shouldn't be noisy, like in any community. All right, we'll have to figure out, because we don't want you breaking down at night, but also it needs to get out of there, particularly
Yes.
since it is the parking for the businesses.
I'll take videos and pictures and let you know, so the next year to show you.
and-
This
yeah,
was
and
done.
a little
I
more,
wanted-
a lot more communication
Yes,
is
yes,
in order.
yes. Yes.
What about, just out of curiosity, he mentioned Rand Park, which I'm not familiar with.
Yeah.
Is that an option for you for
Well,
next
see,
year?
I wanted to do it even before doing it there, but in Rath Park, I believe someone from the town said they won't allow that. That's where I've always wanted to do it. They said, but they had too many homes that were on the right-hand side. They're probably going to complain. But I've always wanted Rath Park, because Rath Park, it's closed, it's more secure, but then you have a lot more homes. And so they said they wouldn't put it
There's
in.
about 3 more houses on one side.
That's
of
not
the
me.
park.
I don't mind.
No. I'm just backing you up on that. There's only like 3 more houses on one side of the park.
Yeah.
But from a security standpoint, you have only one entrance from the park into that lot, and you only have 2 entrances from the lot into the park.
If I could do it next year, by all means, please. If less problems.
It's not up to us, but
All right.
we'll take it under advisement. All right. Anything else?
Yeah, I have one last thing. Is it possible for you to call your vendor and find out with some specificity the amount of hours needed to break down both the rides and the game booths, so we have some framework? I think what you said sounds to make sense, but no, you don't have to do it now. Just let us know so we can get to the other cases.
Okay.
Let us know so we can conclude that in our deliberations.
Just for
Okay.
your edification, the resolution that was passed by town board said that the amusement rides will not be set up prior to 7 p.m. on September 18th, and they're to be removed by 6 a.m. on the 23rd. That's in the grant. Okay? Make a note of it. Anything else?
What time on the 23rd?
6 a.m. That's going to be a problem
Yeah, they can't
from a
do that.
standpoint, right?
Because you'd have to work in the night.
Well,
We'll figure it out.
okay.
Uh,
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Everyone who signed in on the case will receive a copy of the board's decision by mail once it's rendered.
Yeah. All right. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We got to make a decision. Got to make a decision. Greg? Let them take a photo of it. But they can't break down before 6 a.m. That's idiotic. They're going to have to work all through the night. We'll have to Yeah. Well, if this keeps up, there isn't going to be a third year. It's that simple. We have to make a decision today. No, I mentioned that on a lot of the others. You're going to throw it in our lap a day before.
Yeah.
Patrick, 587, call it, please.
58724 Oceanside, Vladimir Radzikevsky and Yulia Radzikevsky, mother-daughter, residence, second kitchen, also known as 160 Chamberlain Street.
Interesting.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Ashley Kianese from Mark Anthony Architects. Our office is located at 1563 Belmore Avenue in Belmore, New York. I am here today with my clients Vadim and Yulia Radzievsky, who are the owners and occupants of the subject property located at 160 Chamberlain Street in Oceanside, New York. We are here today for a variance for a mother-daughter use. I have explained to my clients about the rules of a mother-daughter, as there is only to be one mailbox, one doorbell, and one electric meter. They will have Vadim and Yulia and Radzievsky in the primary unit, and then they will have Anastasia and Radzievsky Wang and Andy Wang, who are the Radzievsky's daughter and son-in-law, in the secondary unit, and are also here with us today.
To the site?
I have, but not since construction started. I was just about to say, the Radzievskis did file for a permit under tracking number 23-6296 for the existing dwelling to be elevated per FEMA regulations and a proposed first and second story addition, as well as interior alterations, which was issued back on March 1st of this year.
Thank you.
And did not require a variance.
This is,
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Just as you know, Ms. Lowe, for the record, I have to put this on the record. Each time we have an application for an immediate family, mother, daughter, the Board of Architecture reviews it to determine whether or not it is properly used in that fashion and properly revertible back to a single-family dwelling at the cessation of such use. It often makes recommendations, which will give you an opportunity to opine on and offer information to the board as to why you may or may not want to or be able to comply with them. In the case of this dwelling, the Board of Architectural Review has determined that it is suitable and restorable to a single-family use once the mother-daughter use has ceased.
Thank you.
Did you, I apologize, I was
She
looking through
mentioned-
paperwork,
she
if
went
you
over
already
some
said
of
it. You advise your client, it's unique to this client, the end of the use,
transferable.
it shall be returned to, it's not to be sold as a two-family dwelling. Did you go over the cars? I apologize.
I did not go over the
How
cars.
many
Cars.
cars? Looks like you can fit two in the driveway.
Yes.
Is there on-street parking?
It's now two that can fit in the driveway, yes.
No elevations?
I don't believe there's elevations on the mother-daughter application. Typically, they're not required, but I do have a copy of the plans that were submitted for the other application, if you'd like to take a look at them.
Do they have usually I get elevations, but maybe they aren't required and everyone just provides them, but,
They don't,
Yeah,
but
if you-
I do have the elevations for the
Can I
home,
have
if you'd
them?
like to see them.
yeah, can we keep them?
Yeah, of
Joe.
course.
Okay, we'll accept those as evidence.
Joe? It's an open permit.
Because there are no elevations. She said they're not required. They're not, yeah, she said, I don't think they're required on the lot.
that's what she said. They are.
Okay.
For future reference.
Can I go, or are you?
Ms. Lowe, our expert Dawn here, Delta Dawn, is telling us that the I usually always get elevations.
Elevations.
I've been doing this for a while.
Okay.
So in the future, can you make sure, we'll take those as evidence, but she says they are always required.
Wait a second, that's not right.
Oh, I'm sorry, did I call you the wrong name?
It's okay. It's okay, it's not a big deal, but thank you.
Did you get married
I did.
or divorced? Just joking.
Not yet.
Where's what's your new name?
Keaneys.
Can you spell it for me?
Chianese.
Ah, is it Italian?
Yes.
Because a key, C-H-I for a key, yeah. Oh, well, congratulations. Oh,
Thank
I
you.
take that back, best wishes. Okay, and if you said it already, I apologize. 4 people in the house?
Yes.
Vladimir, Yulia?
Vadim and Yulia.
That's an L, I don't know. Anastasia and Andy?
Yep.
But there's one existing.
Any other questions from the board? Go ahead.
Is there a cellar in, what's in the basement?
It's just it's a crawl space.
Crawl space, okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
You got it.
I just have a question about the above-ground pool. Okay, do you have a fence
Yes.
surrounding?
Yep. There is one portion of the fence. Let's see how to describe that. On the west side of the lot, when you're looking at the site plan, That's a little bit on over the property line, which is going to be relocated.
Okay, but the above-ground pool is going to be removed, and you're proposing a partial in-ground?
Yes, that was done
And
under
that's
a
not
separate
built
application.
yet?
No.
When will the pool be removed?
It's proposed.
I'm sorry, I'm incorrect. The pool has been built.
There's a
Yes,
pool
that
down
permit
there.
was approved.
Okay, so the above-ground pool is gone?
Yes.
Okay, and now there
It's not
is,
operational yet. It's not operational yet because the fence the construction is not complete. So pool is in the ground, but it's not operational.
So it's not gone?
The pool, it's built, but it's not in use yet.
The new pool or the old pool?
The new pool.
The
The
new
old pool is gone. It was filed under a different permit and issued back in June. I have a copy of the permit if you need it.
The site plan doesn't appear to show any portion of the fence not on the property line. So
Yeah, but it's not existing. It says existing.
So it's not on these plans because it was
Existing.
the pool. There's a gate that had to be added.
Sir, while she's doing that, may I ask you, the site plan we're looking at shows a fence that's entirely, it appears, on the property line, which is not what you've said. So is this the proposed fence, or?
Yes, it's proposed fence,
It's
correct.
proposed.
Okay.
The ones I just circled are proposed, but the fence was relocated to be all on the property line.
Okay, but in addition to that, the fence on the site plan that we're looking at shows a 6-foot PVC fence going all the way to Chambers Street.
Yes.
Okay, is that fence there now or not?
Yes, and the fence is on the correct property line now. It was moved.
Okay, does it have a variance?
No.
Is there an application pending? The fence?
It's not, I'm sorry. The fence goes only to the house.
Hold on, I can't hear. What?
The 6-foot fence goes only to the house. The front is not my fence, it's neighbor's fence, it's only 2 feet tall.
You could just call me Miss Lowe. It's not a big deal. It's not that serious.
No, I got you. Okay. See this? Look. This is showing existing forward. This says existing 3 to be modified to be 6. This says 6 foot all the way to Chambers Street. Well, this is the neighbors he's talking about because it says 3 feet. Why don't you go take it and ask him about it? And you can mark it, so we get it straight here. So the,
no, it says existing 3 feet. And 5 feet is the one across. Didn't he just say that was owned by the neighbor? Is it owned by the neighbor? Because here's the neighbor. Feet. So we're going to have 2 fences there. The neighbor doesn't want to do what?
Let the record reflect that the applicant's representative clarified the fencing that is, already has a permit and will be installed as part of the fence application, not before the board. In addition to that, the applicant is altering a 3-foot fence on the forward of the house, also not before this board. And that the 6-foot fence that's forward of the applicant's dwelling on the, I believe, west side of the house, running the entire property line of the applicant, is a 6-foot PVC fence, including being forward of the applicant's dwelling, but is not a fence belonging to the applicant. The applicant will install his own fence around the pool in the rear of the house to meet the requirements of the installation of the pool. Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You'll both be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Aye.
Aye.
Next, we have case 58824, Franklin Square, Dennis Marzocco. Variance lot area, convert senior residence to two-family dwelling, also known as 970 Washington Street.
My name is Dennis Marzocco. I live at 970 Washington Street, Franklin Square.
Good morning, sir.
I'm here to get a permit for a two-family. I have maintained a senior residence for 6 years. I have never had any problems. Had good tenants all along. I have, probably in your possession, there are 4 letters recommending that I get this permit, and one of the letters is from my current tenant.
Do you live in the house, sir?
I do.
Okay. And so the only conclusion I can draw is you don't want to live there anymore and you want to rent out both units? Is that it?
I want that option, yes.
Can you tell us on what basis we should grant this? Because if everybody in Nassau County or town of Hempstead came in and asked for the same relief, we'd have nothing but two-family dwellings.
Well, I understand that, but I feel that since I've maintained the senior residence, never had a problem for 6 years, I'm simply asking for the option that I could rent it out. I'm in my 70s, and I may want to go down to Florida for 6 months and then come back, or maybe stay down there. So I just need that option. And there are several two-family houses on my street, and 2 of the recommendations come from houses 2 and 3 doors away.
Do you know whether or not they're legal two families?
I believe they are. I'm quite certain. Yeah,
Okay.
actually, they are.
You happen to have the addresses of those
Sure.
two families?
Yep.
You know where this is headed.
962 Washington, 964 Washington. And, 964. So that would be 2, and then I have one from my neighbor across the street. He is a, commercial property.
Okay, sir,
Two-family, the commercial property?
I'm sorry?
Is that a two-family also?
No, it's a,
Commercial.
a yard. It's actually a,
so, sir, one of the things that, initially, the senior residence was really designed to allow seniors to stay in their homes and to be able to rent out the other portion.
Yes.
It was not really designed to create a two-family, multi-resident family neighborhood. So in addition to that, one of the benefits of a senior residence contrasted with a two-family residence is that when you live there, we have it's much more likely that you're going to take care of it. It's not just a rental unit with two people who don't really have any skin in the game because they're just renting. And, I'm not saying you're not going to take care of it, but it's a very, very difficult use to get approved through the board when you're in a residential neighborhood. And I know it seems to you like it's not that much different than the way it's been operating. 2 units, 2 people live there, one's rental, but it's very different from our perspective to have a senior residence than to have a two-family dwelling in a neighborhood that really wasn't originally designed for that. I get that there's seemingly 2 others there, but again, it's a use variance is what it's called, and it's the most difficult variance to prove that you should be granted it, because again, it's not, the idea isn't that we have a lot of two-family residents in the residential neighborhoods. It was really designed to help seniors stay in their homes. Can I ask you, it shows on your site plan a garage that's larger than the house, at least the footprint. What all is that garage? It says 17, is that a 2-story garage or a single-story?
I'm sorry, what?
The garage, single-story or 2-story?
1 story.
And it's 1,749 square feet. It's a very large
Very
garage.
large, yeah.
What do you use that garage for?
Storage.
Of,
I have some cars in there and I have a workshop.
like just a personal wood shop?
Yeah. I'm retired,
I got you.
basically.
Okay.
I just wanted to mention that I was here last year for the Scolaras, and they don't live in the house. It's 3 doors away, and I testified for them, and they got the permit for 2-family.
Okay,
That was
well,
like last year.
okay. I noticed that while you're here to convert your senior residence, you have that's coming with a request for a lot area occupied variance. You're in a Residence B zone, so usually you're allowed to have up to 27.5%. Your materials seem to indicate that you're proposing almost 44% lot area occupied. I'm not sure how you got to that lot area occupied without coming before the zoning board previously. Did you, oh, I'm sorry, you're in a zone C. So is it 30 in a C or is it 25? 30 in a C, we don't get them a lot. So 30 is allowable, I take that back, and you're proposing almost 44. Was some portion of this, was that garage built with a permit, or how did you get to 43% without coming to zoning, or did you come to zoning?
That garage was there when I bought the house in 1987. So as far as I know, it was grandfathered in as non-conforming.
Well, it does show on your materials a building permit number for that from 1984. Let me just see, do we have the search sheet? I don't think there's a way to get to 44% coverage without coming here. So I just want to, I know, I'm just, that's what I was looking for. do you know if your house has a non-conforming letter, if you know what that is? Can you help me here? I can't find the search sheet.
I'm under the assumption that all of the documentation that I provided in order to get the senior residence, everything was approved. As far as I know, nothing was questioned. Anything that was questioned, I provided information for it. I don't have. I could probably have that. I just
No, that's not.
can't put my finger on it right now.
Yeah. Here we go. One moment, I found the
Sure.
zoning, prior zoning. Looks like Arthur Levine's writing.
Sir, how many electric meters do you have?
I have 3.
Why?
I have one for the first floor, one for the second floor, and because the garage is so big, I have a third one. And I have a permit for that.
And that third one is for your garage?
It's for the garage, yeah, and it's also for the boiler room, so that the tenants don't pay for, what I use, my use. That's why I split it up. That was done quite a few years ago.
And the electric box for your garage is on your house?
I actually have, yeah.
Okay.
I have, in the basement, three panels. One for first, one for second, one for the garage. of
And there's
course-
nothing, what is in your basement?
I'm sorry.
What is in the basement?
What's in the basement? It's partially finished.
But you don't have a kitchen in the basement?
No.
Okay.
I know better than that.
Is that third floor habitable?
The third floor is a finished attic, but it is only used for storage, sitting room. There's no sleeping up there. I know that's not allowed.
You got the right answers.
I know, I've been there a long time, I know. No sleeping up there.
You've been schooled.
Yes.
You have collectible cars?
I used to. I used to have them, I sold them. Uh, 1987.
we found a decision of the board from the year 2015.
Right.
It goes through a significant history of the property, from when it was built to various applications before the board, and it basically denied the two-family request. You can get a copy of this if you don't have it, maybe from downstairs. But I think this issue's already been adjudicated before this board, because at some point, it looks as though at some point there was a notation. It was always a one-family dwelling. There was one little notation at some point long, long ago. But then in 1984, I think it was in 1984, an application was made to this board, and it was determined that it was in fact a non-conforming single-family dwelling, and the application for a two-family dwelling was denied at that time. So I'm assuming that's why it's been a senior residence. But it looks like, you know, there's a principle of law called res judicata, which provides that if an issue's already been adjudicated by the body, adjudicating it, sound like Kamala Harris, then it's barred from being re-adjudicated unless there's certain situations like significant new evidence, significant change of circumstances, etc. In this case, we will, as a board, review this and deliberate on it, but it may be that we are not in a position to further adjudicate and change the decision of the board from 1984 or 2015. I take it back.
2015.
Yeah, which was after.
Well, okay, it was denied several years ago, but I was under the impression that things have changed, and my situation has certainly changed, okay? I want to be able to have the option to rent it out. I am in my senior years, and I want the income, I need the income, and if anything should happen to me, I want my children to be able to deal with it.
We understand. One other question. So there look like there are 3 meters associated with the place. Oh, okay, I apologize. But it looks through the material, when I read through the prior decision quickly, it looks as though, was there ever a living, a dwelling space in the, what is considered the garage on the site plan?
Never. Okay, can I explain that? The 3 meters? The reason I put the 3rd meter in is because there's a garage in the back that's oversized. There's lighting, there's lights, okay? There's no heat, but there's lights.
Is there
Lot of light.
plumbing?
There's lighting, and there's also a boiler room. So in order to be fair to my tenant, I had the meters installed, and the bill comes to me, and I can produce the bill if you need me.
There's a boiler room in the garage?
No, the boiler room is in the basement.
Oh, okay.
But I can produce the electric bill if you want,
Oh,
going
no,
all the way back.
I believe
comes
that
to
you have
me.
3 meters and 3 bills.
And it says landlord on it.
Okay. Is there anything else you wish to tell us before we close the case and later deliberate on it?
You do have letters from my neighbors.
I
You
saw.
also have a very significant letter from my current tenant showing how pleased she is living there, okay? The house is in beautiful condition
How long have you owned the house?
since 1987.
87. So you went through the other hearings with, when it was applied for and denied?
Not in 80, well, a hearing for what?
That Mrs. D'Amato just said that when it was the board's decision that it got denied previously.
Yeah,
I did go to the, yeah, of course, I had to be there.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I asked if you were the
Yeah.
owner.
It's a while ago, I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, you
It was
just.
2000,
I was
yeah.
there.
You see, your avenue of relief could have been to file an Article 78 disagreeing with the board back in 1987 or whatever it was.
2015.
2015.
Yeah, those 2 cases.
Well, you know why I didn't pursue it? Because I got a letter from the lawyer I use, and he outlined for me the thousands of dollars that I was gonna have to incur.
There
I think
you
you
go.
made a smart decision not
In order to
pursuing it, to
pursue
be
it.
honest.
So it was recommended to me, why don't you leave that alone and just go for the senior residence, which is exactly what I did.
Good.
And
Right.
your lawyer was right. You probably would
It
not
would've
have,
cost
in
a
all
fortune.
honesty, you probably would have not prevailed on the 78. And
Right.
you live in the house, and that's exactly the situation that the senior residence was created for. Unfortunately, the two-family situation is not what's envisioned in that area, and it may even be barred by res judicata, but at any rate.
Yeah.
So,
Do you understand the theory of res judicata?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Do you understand the theory of res judicata? Which basically means in English, if you brought the application before, and this is the same application that you brought before this board in 2015, and you were turned down in 2015, and you didn't take an Article 78, that we cannot go back and undo what was done in 2015 by law. We're not allowed to do that.
But wouldn't you agree with me that the senior residence is almost exactly the same thing?
It is far different from a legal two-family residence. It is, as Mrs. D'Amato elaborated on, there was a whole different theory behind the senior residence as opposed to a two-family dwelling. However, this issue was adjudicated, or you had a hearing in 2015. You had the opportunity, and I get it. You chose not to spend the money, and as Mrs. D'Amato said, you probably would not have prevailed had you done so. But you're now precluded by law from arguing the same case all over again, because, if that were the case, if we were to do that, every case that we ever denied could be brought back here and say, okay, we want to argue it all over again, and it would go on forever. That's the theory behind res judicata itself. You understand? You may not agree, but you understand. Okay? Anything else you'd like to add, sir? Any other questions from the board?
Mr. Chairman, I would just move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. You'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Take care. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Now, I'm going to tell.
Next, we have cases 58924 through 59024, Wanta. Bernhard Jablonski and Lisbeth Fury Jablonski. Variances: side yards aggregate. Maintain open porch converted to living space attached dwelling. Special exception to maintain shed exceeding horizontal maximum, also known as 3243 Austin Avenue. I have you sworn in from earlier, just your name and address for the record.
Diana Laspisa with Morano Expediting Services, 2938 Hempstead Turnpike, Suite 212, Levittown, New York, 11756. Here on behalf of Mr. and Mrs. Jablonski. We're here before you today requesting permission to maintain an existing shed having a maximum horizontal dimension of 12.2 as opposed to the required 12-foot maximum. We're also requesting permission to maintain a porch conversion with a minimum side yard of 4.8 existing, and the required is 5 foot, an aggregate side yard of 13.8, where the required is 15 feet. Mr. Jablonski was unaware of these issues. Being non-compliant, he had made an application last year to construct a 2-story rear addition, and at that time is when the building department had brought to his attention that these structures did exist illegally and needed to be legalized. In regards to the shed previously was non-conforming to the setback. Mr. Jablonski has relocated it, so it eliminated having to come before the board for a setback relief. It's 12.2. I think it's literally the thickness of the siding, because when he bought the shed, he bought an 8x12 shed. But then since then he had sided it, so it's just ever so slightly over the required. In regards to the porch, it was an enclosed, screened porch that has since just been converted to living space. It is consistent, no change was in the footprint, and it is consistent with the other home directly to the east is actually the exact same style home, like a Tudor-style home, and they have the same improvement to the property. I do think it's important to notate that the property to the west is actually the Wantaw Fire Department, so these structures are not infringing on any neighboring parcels. And that is all, if the board has any questions.
Yeah, I missed the porch, the open porch issue, that's a 4.8 versus 5?
Correct.
And then, is it your client's fence or the neighbor's fence that doesn't seem to be on the property line?
The fence, no, his fence, it looks like there's two fences. So he's got, there's two fences. There's a chain, he's got the PVC fence, and then, so the property to the west is the fire department. They have a chain link fence, which looks like it might be somewhat on his line.
Well, it says retaining wall, right?
Yes. Yes.
On retaining wall.
There's the retaining wall, which is on the outside of the fence, though.
So who owns the property between his fence and the retaining wall?
His fence, well, technically, I guess it would be him, but it's not his.
Well, you might want to address that with someone, otherwise.
Because that's the fire department.
I mean, it must be his because you counted, well, I can't tell if the 4.8 goes to his fence or to the retaining wall, the way it's notated.
The 4.8 is always notated to the property line. They
But
don't
there's
measure.
two lines, and I don't know which one's his property line.
Oh, okay, so his would be the one, well, the one just to the left of the 4. That's actually
So
his
his
property
property
line.
line is where that, so the space between the retaining wall and the fence belongs to the fire department?
Is the fire, yes, the fire
Okay,
department.
so his is
Yes.
on his line.
Yes, so his is on the line, correct.
And then your aggregate's what, 13.8?
13.8, yes, which was existing, those minimum and aggregate are the same for enclosed porches as well. But just because it's converting it to habitable space is what re-triggers the already established setback request.
That concludes your presentation.
Yes.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Ms. LaSpezia will be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Thank you. Have a
Second?
good day.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Stephanie, you need a break? Okay, we're going to take a 10-minute break. We'll be back at about 27 after. It was marked second call. Okay.
Yeah. We're going to be second calling case 57824, Belmore, Tommaso, and Sandra Genovese. Renewal of grant to maintain two-family dwelling, also known as 2100 Howell Street.
Anyone here on this case? This was granted second call.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, prior to your arrival, we granted second call. Counsel to the board contacted the applicant. The applicant was under the misunderstanding that the applicant need not appear. The applicant made a request for an oral request for an appearance waiver. We generally don't do that on two families, so I leave it to you to decide whether or not we grant an appearance waiver or we give them a new date.
Since we generally don't do that on two families, we're not going to grant an appearance waiver. And you can give them a new date, Patrick. Tell me first available.
November 13th, 11 a.m.
Okay, since there were no appearances here, there will be no need for further notices, and we'll hear the case on that date. Next case.
Next, we'll be calling cases 59124 through 59224, West Hempstead, Michael Abruzzo. Special exception to maintain shed higher than permitted, variance side yard, maintain AC unit attached to dwelling, also known as 353 June Place.
Yes, I do.
State your name and address for the record.
Dennis Cook, 435 Maple Avenue, Westbury, New York, 11590. I'm here this morning representing Mr. Abruzzo on the AC unit and the shed. Mr. Abruzzo has been working for the past couple of years in trying to maintain everything that needed to be maintained on his property, which included a deck in the back, included a fireplace, some interior alterations. He's trying to get everything legalized, so everything's in good standing. The shed in the back, he actually built a number of years ago.
That's a nice looking shed.
Yes.
How high is it?
Higher than allowed.
Yeah, it's,
Otherwise, he wouldn't be here.
it is, sorry. Sorry, I remember this before. It's, what is it, sorry?
It's allowed to be 9, and what do you got?
What do you have?
Yeah, it's allowed to be 9. I think it was over 10, sorry.
How about
I think it was over
10 foot 4-inch height?
Yeah, 10 foot 4 inch, that was it.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah. I mean, he has a full garage door in the front, so once you put the header above that, that's another foot, so.
Does
and
he
that-
do these for a living? Because that's a nice looking shed.
No, he doesn't actually.
Wow.
He has, the shed contains tools for taking care of the house, including a very large snow blower and lawnmower.
Have you been to the site?
Yes. The site is very well taken care of. He has a number of nice landscaping elements, including walls, and the deck's beautiful. They really did the backyard up nice. It looks good.
You're also here for the AC unit that you wish to maintain. It needs a side yard variance?
Side yard variance.
Yes.
So why don't you tell
What do
us,
you have?
you're supposed to have 5, what do you have?
That we only have 3, right? 3.
It looks like 3, yep.
3.
And other than that, you have no other requests for variances in this matter?
That's it.
That concludes your case. Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
The hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Cook, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Thank you. Have a
opposed?
nice
Any
day.
abstentions?
Thank you very much.
Great day.
Next, we have cases 59324 through 59424, Wantaw, Wayne and Cheryl Woodbury. Special exception to maintain accessory structure, gazebo higher than permitted. Special exception to maintain second accessory structure, shed with less than required rear and side yard setbacks, also known as 158 Twin Lane.
Ms. Pangallo?
Ms. Pangallo, just your name and address for the record.
Tina Pangallo, 549 Hempstead Turnpike, West Hempstead, New York, 11552. Representing Wayne and Cheryl Woodbury of 158 Twin Lane North in Wantua. Property is located on the east side of Twin Lane, 666 feet north of Twisting Lane in Residence B. We're requesting a variance to maintain a gazebo higher than permitted and a shed with less than the required side and rear yards and a second accessory structure. The maximum height for the gazebo is 9 feet and the height provided is 10 feet. The gazebo has been there for 14 years and was a 60th birthday gift from his wife. These gazebos have become very common. The shed violates the side yard required of 2 feet. The side yard provided is 0.4 feet, and the rear yard required is 2 feet, and the rear yard provided is 1.3 feet. The Woodburys have been living at the home for 48 years, and there has been a shed in this location for at least 40 years with no complaints. There's a sizable yew bush within a foot of the shed, making it difficult to relocate, and Mr. Woodbury is 74 years old and incapable of moving the shed.
A child. He's a child.
Yes, absolutely. The shed is the second accessory structure. They were without electric for 2 weeks during Superstorm Sandy, put in solar and Tesla panels. When Sun Nation went to file the permit, all this came out that they needed permits for the shed and the gazebo. I would like to submit letters from neighbors on both sides of the property and the neighbor at 166 Twin Lane also indicating they have no objections to the board granting the variance.
We'll accept those in evidence.
It's a beautiful yard.
Yes.
You've been to the yard, Miss Angello?
Yes.
It is beautiful, right?
Yes, yeah, and he has these like little train things going
Oh,
around
there's a
it.
train in? I
Yes.
see how it's got, I just thought they
Yeah.
were baths.
Yeah, it
Yes.
looks like it.
I've never seen anything like that before.
Okay.
Anything else you wish to add?
No, thank you.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Ms. Pangallo, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Thank you very
Second.
much. Have a nice day.
You too.
Second, all in
Aye.
favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Mr. Mindell, you should try and get on the 11 o'clock calendar so you don't have to get here so early. I mean, all the way from Connecticut, yeah? 11 o'clock would be a good calendar.
Next, we have cases
Make a
59524 through 59624, Wantagh. Thomas and Carrie A. Coppola maintain pool with less than required side yard setback. Special exception to maintain outdoor kitchen exceeding horizontal maximum, also known as 3765 Lynn Lane.
Good morning, Gregory Mindel, 531 Lime Rock Road, Lakeville, Connecticut, 06039. Appearing for the owners, Thomas and Kerry A. Coppola of 3765 Lynn Lane, Wantagh.
Mr. Mindell,
Yes.
so you have a pool with less than the required setback. So does that mean this pool's not been closed out?
I'd like to explain a little.
That'd be a
I
good
just think of
idea.
the safety issue.
I did not originally file this application. I'm only handling the variance and the paperwork involved in it. This particular pool was constructed 5.9 feet off of the property line and 14.6 feet off of the property line, whereas we're required to maintain a minimum of 4. So the pool itself is in compliance. What the building department determined was that the patio was part of the pool. So the patio is approximately 10 inches in height. You can see it in the photographs that we submitted, maintains 1.3 foot to the property line on the west side, and maintains approximately 2 foot to the property line
Hold on.
at
come on.
the furthest rear corner.
Let me understand. So wait, backing up. When you handle those half in-ground pools, right? When you have those, and they have those decks around them, does the building department treat that deck as part of the pool?
It's part of the pool,
Okay.
correct.
Now, as it relates to this patio, how high off grade is this patio?
10 inches.
So they're doing it as if it's that. Is that what you get? Okay.
Exactly. So it becomes a little confusing, you know, when it happens like that. It has a 0 setback at the rear yard to that same patio. You can see in the photographs, this property is maintained in impeccable condition. It
Okay.
is park-like.
Paver patio, that's what we're talking about, right? So 0 to raise.
The-
And what was and then on the other part, it's 2. What number was the building department? What's the variance we're granting?
So we're requesting 0 at the rear yard, although the pool itself is 14.6. We're requesting 1.3 and 2
Hold
along
on.
the west side yard,
But you
whereas the
didn't-
pool has 5.9.
But you didn't get rejected for rear yard. I don't understand why. You need, well, if they're considering that to be part of the pool, you
it
got
goes-
side yard, but they didn't, do we need to add rear yard?
I would say please add rear yard just to be safe. It's a little confusing, this application. And the pool filter itself also maintains 2.1 on the west and 2.5 at the north.
Well,
But they've
the filter-
encompassed the application as pool in its entirety.
Yeah, because the equipment's not before us either. So maybe our decision, once we reach it, has to be the pool, attached patio paver, and pool
Filter.
equipment maintains X and Y at side and rear as depicted on, and the site plan's accurate, right?
It is 100% accurate, yes.
Christina, you
And
see what we have to deal with there?
as you can see in the photograph that's
So,
taken
he claims-
towards the corner of the property, the furthest corner, you can't see this pool filter at all. It's completely obstructed by the landscaping there.
Yeah.
And additionally, there's 6-foot-high PVC fences around the property.
You want a photograph of the impeccably kept yard, is that correct? We're having a very positive day, impeccably and 100% accurate. Okay.
This is probably
right
one of
ahead.
the nicest rear yards I've ever been before this board with. The second part of the case is for the maintenance of an outdoor kitchen exceeding the horizontal maximum. This too is slightly interesting, where the property owner is going to remove the pergola that is above the outdoor barbecue island or peninsula. And the pergola itself was 12 and a half foot, which required the horizontal maximum variance.
Right.
But the actual barbecue island that we're keeping is 8 foot 6 inches by 11 foot that you can see on the plan. So the barbecue island that we're keeping does not require a variance. Therefore, we don't need the variance for exceeding the horizontal maximum.
Well, I'm sorry.
So are you going to withdraw
I'm
that,
going to withdraw the horizontal maximum variance
Why?
provided the pergola is removed?
because the pergola is to be removed because it does not have footings under it. That's why it's going to be removed.
But once it's removed, how long is the island?
He spelled-
11 foot by 8 foot 6
Yeah.
inches. You can see that dimensioned on the plans that were submitted.
All right, if you're sure. Mr. Mindel,
sure.
so I just spoke with council about how the board was going to analyze this when we deliberated. I just want to make sure of one thing. So the rear yard you're requesting, it's obvious, it's 0. We see the numbers for the pool equipment. It says 2 feet to raised patio, and that's from what, the side yard?
That is the west side.
That's the side yard
Yes.
right there to the raised patio. The filter looks like it's 2.5 from the rear yard. What is it from the side yard?
2.1.
Oh, 2.1. Okay, so the last thing is, as we move down the pool patio, south, I think, I don't have the directional, toward Lynn Lane, toward the cul-de-sac.
1.3.
Okay, I see the 1.3. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. well,
So I had the architect draw this at a very large scale. so
Yeah,
that
it just
It
didn't-
made everything very visible.
Yeah, which we appreciate more than you know, because we don't have 7 of those little,
Everything I've been coming before the board lately has been at this scale, so that
all right.
it's
So,
bigger paper, but it makes it easier to read.
and we'll take into consideration your motion to amend the caption to include the rear yard setback on the pool and what the pool's been characterized as, which is the whole package of it,
The
right?
equipment?
Yes, thank you.
And we will also dismiss as moot the request to maintain the outdoor
Well,
kitchen.
hold on. Do we need to still keep the request to maintain it? Do you still need a special
Still need a
exception?
permit to maintain the barbecue
special
island, but it
exception.
does not need a
Right.
The
variance.
pergola has to be removed.
You can see on the plan submitted that the architect
Yeah.
wrote on the plan,
Thank you.
pergola to be removed.
Right, but I just want to clarify, because we don't want to dismiss the whole special exception. You need the special exception to maintain the outdoor kitchen, or at least we're not dismissing this. But you're just going to dismiss the exceeding horizontal, even if, you know.
Exceeding horizontal,
Because I don't want it to end up being a second accessory structure or something.
Let's
It's
beat
easier
a
to
dead
put it in
horse.
wording than to remove it.
Let's just delete that. No, he
No,
doesn't need that.
he doesn't need the horizontal maximum on the kitchen because they're going to remove the pergola.
No, we were talking, he's taking away the pergola, so the thing's then only 11 something. But let's keep the special exception to maintain it, just in case. I don't want it to kick back.
Excellent, yes.
Why not? A little overkill, but. Anything you'd like to add before you return to Connecticut?
No,
No? You're sure?
I'm 100% positive.
Oh, one other thing Mr. Pellegrini just mentioned, and today seems to be removed shed day, because this is like the 6th or 7th one.
Well, it's also remove pergola day.
Your client is going to remove that, how soon can these items be removed in case we've concluded in our deliberations?
The pergola is just a matter of
Right, what about
unbolting it,
the shed?
taking it down.
What about the shed that's to be removed? Vinyl shed to be removed.
Oh, that's easy. That's,
Yeah, but can it be done within 2 weeks of our decision or
yes,
something?
yes.
Good.
Yeah, we've just been putting it into decision. So that they get done, you know?
Yes.
Otherwise it falls, you know. I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Mindel, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Second, all in favor? Any opposed?
He is actually going to be on the rock climbing team and the rowing team, I believe, this year. He's decided to not do the skiing because he's also on Formula SAE.
On what?
Formula SAE, which is an engineering program where they build 2 race cars.
Oh.
They build a gas-powered and electric.
That's cool.
And they came in 4th out of 120 teams in Michigan this past June.
What school's he at again?
UConn, Stores,
Wow.
the one that's always on the
Man, he
news.
must be the happiest dad around, like, all right, I have to go to my son's event, race cars, you know?
Well, guess where they test? Down the block from my house at Lime Rock Park.
Wow.
So I get to see
Yeah,
them.
so if anything on your car breaks down, you have built-in mechanic.
I have everything there.
Yeah, you have everything, right? Very cool.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Yep, have a safe trip back.
I'm not going to drive by Nassau Coliseum on the way out.
Smart move. Smart move.
Does he get to drive the cars, too?
He just tested that car last week.
Does it look like the Formula One cars? Is that why it's called that?
Yeah, you should look it up. It's amazing what.
What's it called?
Formula SAE.
Formula.
And it's worldwide. They come from
Yeah.
other countries to do this.
Is it all, so it's a college thing, right?
Yes. So find the humor in the fact my son's an animal science major in the engineering club.
No way.
Yeah, so it's a little bit humorous, but he did grow up with a racetrack down the block. So
Wow. That's cool. See ya.
You too. Patrick?
Next, we're calling case 45724, Baldwin. Butch Yamali doing business as Dover Coral House. Renewal of grant to maintain detached double-face illuminated ground sign, setback 5 feet from Milburn Avenue and 18.5 feet from Old Mill Road with changeable copy. Also known as 70 Milburn Avenue.
Hi, Lou Casale, 27 St. John's Place, Freeport, New York.
Sorry you had to wait so long,
No problem.
but I know it's exciting anyway, so
Yeah, yeah.
So you're here for the renewal grant to maintain the detached double-faced illuminated sign.
Right.
which is 14 feet from Milburn Avenue and 22 feet off Old Mill Road. That was the reason. Yep.
I know. What are we doing about that? Give me a second.
So the sign differs from the one
So, the sign differs in its appearance from the one that was originally granted, but if I understand correctly, looking at the photographs here, it's in the same location as was previously granted, and it's of the same size. It's just snazzied up, for lack of a better way to say it.
Exactly.
Okay. It's no taller than it was, right?
I'm pretty sure it's not.
Yeah, it looks the same as the, it looks to be identical, but in height and size, but for the fact that it's much more attractive. Okay. Is there anything else you, oh, the building department inspected it on 4/16 of 2024. That's when the building department noticed that the appearance of the sign was not the same as the old photographs of the old one.
Right,
But
of course, it was
there's no
updated.
notation made here of any other difference in that it's in the same location, it's the same height, size, height, so it doesn't
Exactly.
require any additional relief than did the less attractive sign.
Right.
Anything else you wish to add?
No, it was just updated. That's all.
Otherwise in compliance with all the previously imposed conditions.
Yes.
Any other questions for the board?
Mr. Chairman, I would just move that the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Casale, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's rendered.
Perfect, thank you.
Have a nice day. And don't go down Hempstead Turnpike, according to Mr. Minor.
No. South.
Have a good day. Sorry it took so long. Last but not least,
We have case 24324, Inwood, Notcham, and Sarah Greenberg. Variances, lot area occupied, rear yard, construct addition, second-story addition, open below, and second-story deck open below, all attached to dwelling, also known as 5 Fairway Drive. Please take a seat, state your name and address for the record.
Good morning, Chairman and members of the board. My name is Shmuel Flaum, residing at 194 Wanzer Avenue, Inwood, New York, 11096. I'm here on behalf of the request of the board to reopen this case for reapproval, I guess?
Well, you submitted amended plans.
Correct. The plans were amended.
Why don't you,
wait, bring us up to speed, like,
right,
like, just proceed, like, you don't have to elaborate, like, this date, you know, I did this, this, and this.
Oh.
Just give us the basics.
Got it. At the last hearing, the variance was approved for an alteration addition that exceeded lot coverage.
Wait, slow down. Last hearing,
At the last hearing regarding this property,
Right.
the board approved the application as designed. Since then,
wait, we approved the application for the design, and what were the variances you needed at that time?
lot coverage,
Okay,
hold on, I believe it was mostly lot coverage, but there might have been one more. So building area, and then there was an existing non-conforming front yard, which we weren't changing, and then the rear yard was a variance required as part of the extension.
so rear yard lot area occupied was all you had last, when you were here last?
Correct.
And those were approved?
Correct.
Okay, keep going.
Since then, we completed the drawings and the homeowner sent it to the contractor, got feedback about the cost, and because the cost came in a little bit higher than his budget, we reduced the work scope within the actual dwelling. We didn't change the shape, footprint, coverage, or anything. We just took out from the proposed plans some work. So there was going
Like,
to,
for example? you
the
changed-
bathroom in the basement was removed. They're not doing a
Okay.
bathroom in the basement anymore.
Okay,
So
stuff like that.
it was just interior alterations of what
Okay.
was previously approved, but no enlargement, no additional variances being sought. Just a reduction of work to bring the cost down.
Okay,
That was it.
be very specific as what the reduction in work was. You said no, be specific. You said there's no bathroom in the basement.
There's no bathroom, and the
What else?
bedrooms that were adjacent to the bathroom have all been removed adjacent to the playroom. They were originally 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. Those have all been removed from the plans. It's just a playroom now.
Okay, what's in the basement now?
There's no basement, it's a ground floor.
Oh, so there's no basement.
There's
Why-
no basement, sorry, it's a two-level house that's at grade.
You said no basement and bathroom.
I'm thinking basement because it's the lowest level of the house.
Okay, so it's the first floor.
Sorry, it's the first floor of a two-story house, there is no basement.
So what's on the first floor?
Now, there is, hold on. We have a playroom, a storage room, and. Hold on.
Thank you.
The existing side entrance, a playroom, a storage room, and there was an existing bedroom on the front.
So first floor.
It's a first floor, there's nothing below grade.
No, I understand. So first floor is a playroom, a storage room, and one bedroom.
Yeah, and then it says dining living room, but it's really the old, I don't know, it's like a family room.
Is there a bathroom?
There is one bathroom currently there. It's existing. They were gonna add a second bathroom, they're not adding that additional bathroom.
Okay, so the only thing on the first floor is a playroom, a
Yep.
storage room,
Yep.
a bedroom, and a bathroom.
And there's a side entry to the house, and then there was a garage that's being converted to storage space.
So there was an attached garage.
It was an attached garage previously, and it had undergone alteration, so that was submitted on the drawing set as existing. There's no longer a garage. It's being used for storage, and there's an entry behind it.
Okay, so the garage is not living space, it's storage.
Yeah, it's storage. There's a garage door. There's no door into the garage from the house,
Okay,
the storage area.
okay. So that is everything on the first floor?
Correct.
Ground level. What's on the second floor?
So, second floor, they have kitchen, master bedroom, laundry room, family room, 1, 2, 3 bedrooms, and 1, 2 bathrooms.
So we have okay, so on the second floor, we have a kitchen,
Yep.
master bedroom, laundry room, family room, 3 bedrooms, and 2 bathrooms.
Yep.
And is there an attic?
No attic.
Okay.
Christina, so he made interior alterations, but something, and I apologize, I had to step out for a moment, but something led someone to refer it back to us. What was the concern? We might as well just address it.
It was, the plans examiner flagged it, that the plans have changed. It was, what we had approved was less enclosed space than the plans that were then resubmitted. So changes were made to the plans that we had approved. So the building department wanted to make sure that the board was okay with it.
So when you
it's for
say
administrative review.
the less enclosed space or more,
That's what we approved.
we approved less enclosed space than it was.
Then the plans that were refiled by the architect of the building department.
Hold on. Okay, can you help us out here?
Yes. So, I don't know if you have the drawings in front of you, but.
I do not.
What?
Hold on.
If you look at sheet A100,
I'm looking at the drawings that are the most recently submitted or the ones the board had?
you can look at both sheet A100 to see the distinction between the two.
Okay, hold on. So give me a date of, I'm looking at 100 and it's highlighted, hearing of 243.
So that was the original approved plans.
The-
Okay, I'm looking at it now.
The new plans, is there more lot coverage?
No,
No,
same lot coverage.
same lot coverage. So it didn't trigger any new variances?
No new variance is being triggered.
I can stay here. Did you originally have a side yard variance, if you're facing the house, on the left-hand side? Well, let me just back up. I see, council's pointed out, one of the things that raised an issue was the,
Playroom did get larger in one area under the deck.
what was the first word of that sentence?
The
Playroom.
Oh, playroom.
did get larger in the area under the deck, but it was not an increase in lot coverage, just an increase of that lowest level.
Is that because it already had a second level? It was like,
That exceeded?
Yes, there's already a
Yep.
second story above it.
right, okay, so you did enclose a lot more, or more, there. What else?
That's it. And we took out the bathroom and the rooms around it.
And then let's go to the roof plan.
Videotape.
In the same location as where apparently you had just a second level. Now
Try to
you
stay
put
right.
close the bottom and you close above it. Is that right? That's what it's.
No, there was a discrepancy on the plan that I discussed with the plan examiner. We had showed the original existing plan versus the proposed plan of that area. So he missed it on his review and I missed it. But it was updated on the revised drawing set that he went for review.
Hold on, but isn't this the one we had before us?
The one you have before us had an error.
Hold on. This is the one that was before us. Okay, and you're saying it had an error.
Yes. And Vincent Albert, the plan examiner, acknowledged he also missed it because
Wait, what was the error?
the side elevation was incorrect. It didn't show the deck at the proper,
Hold on. Let her show you. Let's just get this done.
there was two discrepancies. It was that and
No, but let's stay on that. What was
this.
the discrepancy?
This was, yes, correct. Well, it's just not shown, but, yeah.
Well, are you
What's the
saying
new
it
date
doesn't
for
exist or existed,
578?
it wasn't shown? Explain.
578.
No, there is an,
What's the new date, November
Any roof
13th?
Okay,
so it's not a roof. That was the original, there's a deck there currently, and we're demolishing the deck,
13th.
and we're replacing it with an extension, and there's a new deck behind it on the proposed plan.
okay, but this plan we received that does not show a roof there, it didn't show the deck that was there, but in addition, it didn't show the deck.
Correct,
proposed.
it was the
wasn't just-
wrong roof plan. It was the existing roof plan of the existing house, not the proposed one, which you can see in the updated set.
Okay, so it wasn't the plans examiner error, you gave the one that didn't show.
No. I know it was my error,
Oh,
but
okay.
the plan examiner said he
Missed
also
it.
missed it in his review.
Of course you missed it because it wasn't on the picture. Okay, so now you're proposing to enclose the deck and put a roof on it, is that right?
We're extending the house by eliminating the deck, but if you want to say enclosing the deck, that's fine. It's the
So
same.
there will be an interior space there now,
Correct. There's an interior space where the deck was, and the deck is pushed further to the back.
and you're adding that deck, so didn't that deck add lot coverage then?
It was already there on the site plan on the approved drawing set. It was always shown on the site plan as lot coverage, and it's on the floor plan as well. It just wasn't the correct roof plan. If you take a look at the floor plan, you'll see it's the same footprint.
Yeah, I see the wood deck there, you're right. Okay, so those are the two things.
We're all human.
I'm just trying to understand why this seemed to lead to flag. I guess because we didn't approve that much coverage on the, even though technically the coverage was approved because it was open underneath.
The coverage was approved on the site plan that was presented. The
I
site plan
understand.
shows it correctly. It just happened to be that the roof plan and one elevation was the existing condition, not the proposed condition. But we then corrected it in the final construction document set. And
I
when the plan examiner saw it, he flagged it because it looked like it was new, but it wasn't new. It just wasn't depicted correctly in the existing when he was doing his comparison.
Who's the
Wait, hold
architect
on.
on this job?
This guy was just very overwhelmed. I caught it.
There's a few elevation issues apparently too. You want to go over those?
On the new ones or the existing ones?
Well, I guess the discrepancy therein.
The difference.
Well, that's what discrepancy
I
therein
know,
means.
but he didn't get that.
So
It's a big
the
word.
elevation that shows the deck on the approved drawing that you sent,
Hold on. Left side, 'cause these pictures don't match. Left side.
correct. There was a mislabeling on the elevation, which he also corrected.
Hold on. Okay, let's just, where's the rear elevation on the approval plans? Because it's not here, okay. All right, so rear elevation, that was accurate? That looks to be the same, right? So, okay. Front, show me the front. Since they're all mislabeled, you can't have to do it this way. It's front, it's front. Is there anything that was incorrectly labeled or inaccurate on the front elevation between the two?
I don't think so.
Okay,
I believe it's just one side elevation.
hold on. Right side. Okay, the right side elevation is completely,
This was, I did mislabel. This is now labeled left side. That's labeled right side.
okay, so which one is it? So as it relates to, you want to ask? Well, like, that's the final plan.
Speak up.
So on the plan that you gave to the building department after your approval, was the right side elevation correctly labeled?
I can, give me 1 second, I'll tell you.
Here, just.
I have it here, I have it here.
Here, take my
The
pencil.
right side label is correctly labeled
Yeah,
on
just have
sheet
them mark them
A200.
right. Correct them both with my pencil.
That is the right side.
This is correct, and this is A.
That is the right side, and that's the left side. And this is the left side, which it says.
Stephanie, are you having fun?
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to get this straightened out. So this is R, these are correct, right?
That's those are correct.
Is it gonna be like he said, she said?
So then,
It's like, follow the bouncing ball.
yeah, these are the ones I crossed.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, these are correct. These are the correct ones.
I know, I'm just gonna put them up here. So this is marked right, and it's correct.
Yep, you better put it on left.
Okay, so in sum and substance now, we have all the corrections, and it wasn't, it seemed to me it wasn't just interior alterations, and that's why, if you had just come in and taken out a bathroom without enclosing that space in a fashion, you know, once they see a plan that's not, that has a footprint that's different than we approved, you know, that's probably what it is. Other than that, that's all that was going on here, mislabeling?
Yeah, it was the mislabeling, but
And
the
forgot to
footprint
put that
of,
roof
the
on it.
footprint was enlarged, but it wasn't a footprint that would trigger a new variance. The footprint was the same that was approved with the variance. It was just,
Well, I guess you can say it that way, but the part that was on the ground wasn't
Correct,
the same,
correct.
you know? Okay, so I have no other questions, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
Move the hearing be closed, the matter be placed on the decision calendar. Mr. Flom, you'll be notified by mail of the board's decision once it's ready. Thank you.
Second, all in favor? Any opposed?
thank you. Have a
I
good day,
got it.
everybody.
You too. I let you do that.
Think I like it?
No, I let you.
We have to put the record. Then I get cleared. You do it.
Just so you guys know, Kiwanis
part of the calendar, so if the vice chair would be so happy.
Sure. Okay, we'll start with, do you want to, well, I'll skip that one. You come back.
1388.
Okay, 1388.
Oh, wait,
Yeah, that's
okay,
why I
yeah.
said let's skip it. Okay.
All right, we're going to save that.
576 of 2024 through 577 of 2024. It's 1055 Front Street in Uniondale. It's the Malibu Cafe, and it's a renewal of the grants to use the premises for a place of public assembly. Is there any discussion? If not, is there a motion?
I move that case 576, 577 be granted for a term of 5 years and with the same previously imposed condition.
Is there a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I know, but everyone said aye, so. 578 of 2024 in Belmore, that case, we're given a new date, which we
November
previously recorded.
13th, 11 a.m.
579 of 2024 East Meadow. It's the Uniondale Venture Partners. The property is located at 351 through 353 Merrick Avenue in East Meadow. Any discussion? If not, is there a motion?
Somebody should make a motion.
I move case 579 of 2024, location of property 351-2 353 of Merrick Avenue, East Meadow, is requested.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Same conditions, 5 years. Case 580, Sheikh Sad and Sasham Hassan. It's a renewal of a grant to maintain 6-foot-high fence. The property is located 2 Arkansas Drive, near Valley Stream. There was an appearance waiver granted. Is there any discussion? If not, is there a motion?
I make a motion, case number 580 of 24 North Valley Stream be granted as requested, 5 years.
Same conditions. Second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm sorry.
581 of 2024 in Elmont, Sharon de Blasi, 118 Crown Avenue. It's a renewal of a grant for a 6-foot-high wood fence, etc. Any discussion? If not, is there a motion?
I make the motion 581-24, renewal of grant to maintain 6-foot-high wood fence. And I believe it's at 118 Crown Avenue and with conditions. Temporary
Second?
conditions.
Second.
All in,
Aye.
sorry.
It's
Go
okay.
ahead.
Next case, 582, 2024 in Garden City, is Julia Senzoprano. The property is 281 Houston Road. It's a request for to maintain a roof over an open porch. Any discussion? If not, is there a motion?
I move case 582 of 24 Garden City South, located at 281 Houston Road, be approved as requested.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstentions? Not. Next case. 583, sorry, I was reading my notes.
Yeah, that's it.
Near Bethpage, this is a case, obviously, with the shed removal. I don't know if we want to either give grants with the condition of removed in 2 weeks, or whatever the number is, or if we want to hold them on reserve. It's a request to construct, second floor addition. Okay, I messed that up, guys, I'm sorry. I have a note, hold shed, but it goes to the one below. So 583 is Igor and Mercheski and Biana Costco, sorry. That is property at 12 Raymore Court, near Bethpage. Any discussion?
I think, yes, I would like to discuss that.
Go for it.
The 3.3-foot side yard is not a safe side yard, and that aspect of the case should be denied.
Okay. Do we want to deny it, or do we want to grant, well, if we deny it, they have to do 5 foot, and then they can comply therewith?
Exactly.
Okay. All right, do you have a motion?
Is there any further discussion? I move that case 583 of 24, side yard aggregate. They might need an aggregate if we do 5. Well, anyway, the side yard of 3.3 feet as proposed should be denied.
And the rest is granted?
Yes.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstentions, denials, okay. I think that's right. Is that where I am, John?
584 of 2024, Point Lookout, Harold One Cell, variance side yard, rear yard, installed a generator on the raised platform. The issue was with respect to recycling. Somebody want to make a comment in that regard, that the cycling be
Yes.
performed only during certain hours?
He
Once
said-
a week, not more, and for not more than, I would say, 15 minutes.
I would do a half an hour in fairness, because I don't know if you know. I understand, but they usually cycle 20 to 30 minutes from my experience. And if it cycles 10, it cycles 10. It's not like he's going to alter it.
For not more than 30 minutes between
Right.
the hours of 10 a.m. and 3 p.m.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough.
Right? Anybody want to make that motion?
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman. Okay.
Are you going to wait for him to remove the shed?
I think we should just make a shed condition.
Okay, fine.
So I move that case 584 of 2024, Harold Wansell, 105 Belmore Point Lookout, that we grant the request for the generator with the previously discussed conditions as to the cycling, and that we included in a condition that the shed and anything else on the plot plan that was noted to be removed be so removed within
2 weeks.
2 weeks from
grant.
2 weeks from the date he receives our decision.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next case is 585, 586, near Valley Stream. Leonia Burke, property located at 1014 Francis Drive. This was one that was a sunroom, another shed removal. I think the applicant said there would be no heat in the sunroom. Would anyone like to make a motion?
Is it an enclosed sunroom? Because it seems like there should be heat there.
Sunroom? No, you don't put heat in the sunroom.
Well, it
That
depends.
is used seasonally.
No, I mean,
The sun warms it.
right, in the summertime.
No, in the winter. In solarium is crazy. Yeah.
Okay, do we have a motion? Sorry,
Do
I'm
we?
multitasking.
Would someone like to make a motion?
I move that case 585 and 586, what?
Be granted, with the exception of the fact
Leona Burke.
they got to remove the shed within 2 weeks of receipt of the notice, and they agreed that they would not install any heat in the sunroom.
I make that motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, case 587 of 2024 Oceanside, Radzievsky. Property located at 160 Chamberlain Street. This was a mother-daughter. Somebody like to make a motion unless there is a discussion?
I move case 587 of 2024, location of property 160 Chamberlain Street in Oceanside, be granted as requested with all mother-daughter conditions.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Case 588 of 2024.
You want to inspect on that, or, oh, well, we got the rest of
It's a
your
two-family
Yeah.
dwelling.
But I don't know if you were in
Can't
the
grant
courtroom.
it.
You saw that decision? Okay. So I think we put that on, don't you think we put that on reserve because to have counsels look through
Okay.
the res judicata issue also?
Okay, fine.
Well,
We'll
we
hold
want to
it.
know the basis for the denial. and I think
Justification.
it's going to be res judicata.
Yeah, and
So-
we're going to need a decision.
Yeah, but if it is res judicata, that's a much better thing to hang our hat on.
Yep.
What's that?
You never know.
Why
You never
don't
know.
we deny it and put,
Oh, no, you're wasting money.
why don't we deny it and the basis of
Because-
the denial is that res judicata?
Well, we want her to read it and make sure that we have that basis, and then that's what we're going to do.
We meet next week.
But what does it matter? I want to know.
Okay.
because We
So
want to be able to deny.
He's
and
gonna
say
do what
it's
he's
a
gonna
res
do
judicata
anyway,
and have it-
quite
I-
frankly.
And it stands, it's just, better
You
than-
said it is, it is.
And what is he going to do? Theoretically, he's going to rent it
Then we come up with
to a stranger for 6 months a year.
not gonna hire
While he's in Florida. I mean,
the way to do it is.
it was a horrible, yeah, it was a horrible, horrible. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. We'll decide it next week. Cases 589, 590, Jablonski and Fury hyphen Jablonski. That's 3243 Austin Avenue in Montauk. Any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
I make a motion, file number 589 and 590, Bernard Jablonski, variance is side yard aggregate, be granted as requested with condition of taking the shed down, right? Were we taking the shed down there, or we're granting that the
That
shed
was
too?
another shed. Okay. 2 weeks,
Oh, grant,
shed day.
oh, and granted as requested with the shed also.
Second?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Cases 591 and 592 in West Hempstead. Mr. Abruzzo, he's asking that he maintain a shed higher than permitted and a side yard variance of 3 feet versus 5 foot to maintain an air conditioning unit. Any discussion from the board? If not, do I have a motion?
I move case 591-24 West Hempstead, Michael Abruzzo, special exception to maintain shed higher than permitted, granted with...
And 592.
Right.
Second?
As requested.
Second.
All in favor? Cases 593 and 594 are Montauk, Wayne and Cheryl Woodbury. Seems like they moved to the wrong neighborhood. They should have moved to Woodbury. In any event, special exception to maintain a gazebo of 10 feet versus 9 feet, and to maintain a second accessory structure, a shed. Do I have any discussion? That property is 158 Twin Lane in Montauk. Any discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
I move case 593 to 594 of 24 Wantagh, Wayne, and Cheryl Woodbury located at 158 Twin Lane be approved as requested.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Cases 595 and 596 in Montauk. Thomas and Kerry Capola. Property address is 3765 Lynn Lane. Maintain a pool with less than required side yard setback and an outdoor kitchen. Well, the portion with respect to the outdoor kitchen was dismissed by the applicant.
I think we should save the
Did you
special
wanna keep it?
exception part of
You
it,
wanna
but,
keep it?
no,
Okay.
dismiss the exceeding horizontal maximum.
All right.
'Cause and then we also added the rear yard setback to the pool request, and as we discussed on the record previously, council is going to draft our decision if we decide to grant it, to explain what we're looking at it, because we're going to look at it in the way the building department determined it should be looked at, which is the pool, the patio that's 10 inches high, and the pool equipment that's on it as one unit, and then analyze it as to rear yard, side yard, as a kind of a thing.
And he
Because
has to-
that's the way that the building department did it.
And he has to remove the pergola and the shed within 2 weeks.
Right, okay, I move, Mr. Chairman, cases 595, 596, 2024, Thomas and Carrie Coppola. Property is 3765 Lynn Lane, Wantagh, that the caption be amended as we discussed, horizontal maximum be dismissed as it relates to the outdoor kitchen, and that is otherwise approved as requested.
Second. Second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Case 457 of 2024, Baldwin, Butchimelli, DBA Dover Coral House.
You go right ahead.
That was a signed case. Any additional discussion? If not, do I have a motion?
With respect to 457-2024, and property located at 70 Melbourne Avenue, I move that we grant the request 5 years, all
I've heard
prior
your chops,
conditions,
but it's in jest.
plus temporary.
Where were you going?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
243 of 20,
Mackham and Sarah Greenberg.
okay.
Property at 5 Fairway Drive in Emerald. Do I have any additional discussion?
No, Mr. Chairman, I would just move based on discussions that we had with the representative of the applicant, 243 of 2024, Knockham and Sarah Greenberg. Property is, of course, 5 Fairway Drive, Inwood. Based on discussions, I would move that we approve it as requested based on the new plans that were filed with the building department and then shown to the board today.
Honest of Franklin Square. What do we want to do on this case? I mean, I think we've got to put some restrictions on it. I mean, we have to grant. I don't think we've ever turned down. This one has a lot of problems. I think we gave him quite a few admonitions in terms of what we expect. I think it's too late to place a condition on it because they're already set up. But when it comes time to renew this application, if it should remain in the same location, he's been given fair warning. And I think that special mention should be made of the fact that if they want to go through this exercise next year, that they don't wait until the 11th hour to come before this board. They better give us plenty of advance notice so that we can get input from the community. Hopefully, he will take a hint, so to speak, and engage in extensive communication with not only the other members of the Kiwanis, but all the shopkeepers down there. And I will attempt to speak to the town to see whether or not they can move the location to what might be a more favorable spot.
Also,
and I think there should be a condition placed on it that, all of the rides, the edifices, everything be removed not later than 5 p.m. Monday. They have sufficient time to do it. And they shouldn't start dismantling anything after 10 o'clock at night on Sunday, nor before 9 o'clock the following morning on Monday.
And we, in that vein, we should figure out how to, the town board's resolution needs to be changed because it doesn't seem even feasible, and if it's this one, it's probably all of them, to say have it all cleaned up by 6 a.m. the next morning. It's not feasible.
No.
So we should
Yeah,
get the
let's say
town.
they shouldn't start before 8 o'clock.
Right, but I'm just
8
saying.
a.m. and it better be finished
For a
by
more-
the end. Otherwise, the town's going to have people there to tow whatever's left.
Right, but for a more permanent solution to all of these, at some point, if we could just figure out how to alter the town board's resolution. So it apparently takes, and we should follow up and make sure 7 hours is take down and pack up.
Yes, Dan.
That's why, what I'm thinking, maybe we do no removal post 10 p.m., no earlier than 8 a.m., but do you want to have the lot cleared by 6 p.m.?
6 p.m. Monday night.
But
6 p.m.
and
Monday
the
night.
town's resolutions have to stop saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to
I mean,
speak
I
to the
know
town
that's,
board.
right,
We'll speak to them.
Okay, how much longer till Mark and I can leave? Because I might go with it. I do too.
What do we have on the reserve
Well,
calendar?
so do we just have a motion on, I got conditions, do we have a motion on,
I make a motion that we,
Can you read my text messages? Did you read them?
How are you gonna get that stuff too? This is for the next.
Oh, because I was asking you if Mark can drive me to George Martin's if you want to meet me there instead.
and you'll have it ready by
Okay.
tonight.
All right, bye.
I know.
Wait, then you have to pick me up.
JP and
Yeah, you have to, okay, because I don't have a ride otherwise.
No, but if I missed the bus.
actually 10.
Nothing on page 1. On page 2, 300, 24, 300, and 124. I know Patrick and I have been in touch with, some folks, and apparently counsel for the OPWGB. It's number the use variance that we
Yeah.
tried to craft. They're apparently reviewing our draft.
Okay, so hold it.
We're still gonna hold it, unfortunately.
Point lookout, 412 Katura. You were absent for the vote. Raj. Perry, you were absent for the hearing.
I think this,
Did you-
the
did-
issue with this one was the height, because it's proposed height.
And lot area,
And I
but
believe-
lot area.
Because I did inspect
All right, we'll hold that.
Yeah, but
We're going to hold that
can
to
you
next
make a
week.
note that for next week, I need the plans. I just don't remember, I know I did that one. Yeah, I don't have the time, but yeah, I know I inspected it. I can see the house in my head.
It's in the car.
I'm just trying to remember what, I gotta bring in my calendar, because I make my notes on them, and then I don't remember.
We're on page 2. Nothing on page
There was nothing.
Yeah.
This is for getting into the heating season, and they're gonna pour the heaters in the place to catch on fire.
That's the one that was out of our hands at this point. It's the one that's with the fire marshal.
But it's still in our hands, and we still don't know what is BS.
So what would you suggest we do?
Suggest that we bring them in next week.
It's not a bad idea.
I'm okay with that. I'm
And
fine.
let's let them know as soon as we can. Yeah. But wait, here's a question. If we're bringing them in, are we required to make it a public hearing and apply to that stuff? Or is there an administrative way we can?
We could probably just, it's kind of, if you think about it, whenever if someone does an extension of time, right? If they're asking for an extension of time, and we want to call them back in, we just call them back in.
And we
I'll
don't
ask Gail. I'll ask
Okay,
Gail.
let's find out.
I'll find out what to do,
Yeah.
but we do just bring them back in.
And if we're gonna bring them back in, I want them to know as much in advance as possible, so they can do as much stuff. They're going, well, I only knew 2 days ago, I couldn't check.
Okay, so we'll.
And do we have the power to subpoena the fire commissioner? Like, get a representative of the fire commissioner and come in and tell us why it's,
That's what I was thinking.
huh?
I was thinking that.
Yeah, I mean, look, it was supposed to be 2, 3 months, and that was,
Cool.
it was, 5, 6 months ago, it was supposed to be 2, yeah.
We'll try to do
Yeah,
it.
let's ask him nicely to
We'll
send
try to do
someone.
it the nice way.
As soon as we know we can schedule them, we'll get the date, we'll ask,
Yeah.
and we're gonna tell them we're having the fire commissioner, so they prepare with the truth, not some bullshit they think they're gonna slide. I don't care about catching them at lie, I'd rather not lie. I wanna just do it, get it done.
All right, 414 of 24. Anybody going in, all right,
Hold on.
I'm going to hold that to next week.
What?
414 of 24, I'm going to hold. Did anybody go and look?
414.
I mean, I've gone.
Page 2.
That was the one where the neighbor fell on the sword, did the mea culpa.
Oh, this is the one where the woman got mad that I was talking to Joe about
Well,
the case?
that also, we were alleged to be racist
Why?
because, we're allowing things in their community. Yeah. Well, I'd like some other board members to go, but what time of day? It's got to be done in the morning, because no. And what did you say? Except a lot of crap, but the big issue was traffic, where the tractor trailers or the equipment that they use to move these things, not his, ultimately it was the next door neighbors, but, yeah. How bad is?
His lot, this guy, to make the trucks turn around. It's gotta be where that telephone poles are gonna.
Is he allowed to?
I think so, because it's just servicing electric houses, which is gonna get demolished.
All right, well, save it for next week.
Yeah.
I have nothing else on that page. Mr. Pellegrini, 519, defense.
Joey Pizzarusso. He's my main man.
519 is a street-to-street property. The front of the house is on Burke. The rear of it is on Campbell. And what she wants to do is to put a fence on Campbell to match the other people's fence. And basically put a gate so that they can access the garage, which is not being used as a garage. Usually it's intended not to use it as a garage, so it's in compliance or uniform with the money properties. That's great. So I would rent that.
Oh, that's right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I gotta lose about 8 pounds this week, but. Yeah, we'll go. We'll go, fine. Yeah, I'm okay to go. Whoever wants to come, comes. If they don't wanna come, screw you all. 2 of us will go. Although 2 of us, John will go.
I move that we grant 519,
But you
2024.
gotta have 4
When we do
people,
temporary
minimum, 4 to 5.
fences, it's usually because we put them in.
My wife will go.
There's more.
She'll
there's
always
like-
eat it though.
We want it to be 4 foot instead of 6, and we want it
Which
temporary
way?
because we don't want someone to come in to replace it with 6. Or it's see-through, and we want it temporary because we want to keep it see-through. In this case, we're letting put a solid 6 foot.
Yeah, right.
solid.
Yeah.
But you
makes
want to
sense.
check for,
Okay.
but wait, but you want to make sure.
You have a sock again.
Yeah.
There's no issues.
All right,
But I'm
go
saying
ahead. You got
that's why temporary, you keep a.
I don't think it's,
you're right.
I mean, it's just an individual. I agree. I don't think it needs temporary, personally.
We like that.
Grant 6-foot-high fence.
Efficiency.
We granted the fence in 519.
Okay. Page 3.
Page 3.
This is Russo, we had this case one time.
Pizzarusso. You like that name, huh?
Russo before? Is there a Joe Russo running a nursery in Atlantic
You take
Avenue
this
in
one.
Oceanside?
That's that.
No, one mile.
What does Pizzarusso mean, John?
I don't know.
No?
Red,
Okay.
red something.
Yeah, red pizza.
That's what I was gonna say.
Pizzarusso has.
Pizzarusso.
Red square. It's
I-
like
I,
Piazza Pizza, it's right. This one.
Oh, Let's go.
JP.
Which
Come
one do
on,
you want to do?
JP.
Lasco?
Yeah.
I did Lasco
Did anybody
also.
go and see Bosco?
I did.
Okay, and?
And let me show you the pictures and see if you
Ooh.
come up to the same conclusion that I do. This is the Lasco house. That's the house, that's the garage. That's the house, that's the garage. This is the garage.
It's got windows.
Anything else?
It's a monster. This is the fence is okay, and maybe you're right.
I was looking up.
No, you weren't.
Did you look in the windows by any chance?
I was in the place, in the,
Nice garage.
yeah,
Looks more like a house.
it sure does. It's oversized and it's not in the right location.
Almost looks like a commercial garage.
It is, it's all steel. I
Oh,
was
is it?
in- Yeah, I was in the garage.
So he could remove it very easily if it's all steel,
He,
if you don't like it.
he's got, 2 hot rods in there.
Does he?
Yeah, he's got a Jeep, the one that, has 900 horsepower. Yeah. And then he has a Camaro, which was undercover. The guy across the street also has a Camaro antique in his garage. And if this gets it's the only one in the neighborhood. It's like Mr. Rogers. Now, who are the people in the neighborhood? Anyway.
There was no out, right? No other
I
comment?
don't recall.
No.
I don't recall.
I personally don't like it, but if somebody else wants to take a look at it and. See if they want to do, then go ahead. If they don't, then I would make a motion to deny. See if they're interested in taking a look.
You guys want to take another?
You know, he keeps the house very well,
He does.
but
Yes.
if nobody in the neighborhood cares, you know, I'm not crazy about it.
I spoke to him, and the house is very nice, and I said, you know, you should have seen it the way it was before I bought it. And then he bought it, and he said, I filed all the permits for the house. I said, okay, jackass, why didn't you file a permit for this? Well, I didn't know I had to.
And then it would not have been
Right,
granted.
but he
Just
didn't do it.
threw it up. Well, what comes first, the chicken or the egg?
If you want to, I mean, I'll hold making a motion if somebody else wants to look at it.
You know what, Joe? I'll take a look. I'll take a look.
Thank you.
It's gonna be a rainy weekend anyway, so
The lawn needs
I'll
it.
just go out and take a look. Yeah, all right. And anything else?
Yes, the Pizzarusso case.
Pizzarusso, we were able to get a copy of the plans, but they came from the architect. We were unable to find any stamp plans that we viewed in the portal. So that's where we were. So I remember, so we were able to get plans, but they were not the plans that were stamped, that we in fact know that we reviewed.
Well, what we reviewed was plans that are, I was given by,
So remember, that was the issue where we couldn't find the plans for the house that was, when it was originally in front of us a few years back?
yeah,
So
but
that was, we were able to find those, but again, not the ones that were stamped by our office.
this is the one that you gave me, Pat. It's a signed sealed architect plans. And there's a playroom that they, I think it's already built, to tell you the truth.
The garage, above the garage.
Yeah. There's a playroom that's up there, children's playroom, which I don't know whether or not the building department, the egress is an issue in my opinion. And there's also a second kitchen in that addition, the garage addition in the rear, plus a,
An indoor kitchen or exterior?
yes.
No.
Yeah.
Where the garage is
He's-
now covered with like,
Yes.
you know,
Good for you.
shrubbery, that, yeah.
Yes.
So, somebody want to make a motion?
Case number 376 of 2024, John Pizzarusso, Joseph Pizzarusso. Variances, et cetera, at 3009 Judith Drive in Belmore, that it be denied in part and granted in part.
Okay, so what's going to be granted and what's
going to be denied?
Denied would be the, let's see, second story to maintain roofed over.
So you're going to approve the patio and the breezeway?
We can approve the patio and the breezeway,
Connecting the garage?
connecting to the garage,
That's okay?
yeah.
Okay.
No kitchen and no second story playroom.
And what about the outdoor kitchen that doesn't seem to be mentioned? Well, then it's not before us.
Right.
Okay.
They legalize everything else that's on the thing.
Second kitchen on the garage, so it's got free kitchen.
Yeah.
You want any type of condition that there be no heating and no plumbing in the garage?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
that garage is for automobile storage
Yes.
only?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that's, yeah, that's gonna be, yeah, so it's, the portion to maintain a two-story garage is denied. It's a one-story garage they're permitted, correct?
Well,
Yes, but
What,
The only reason
I think it's completed already, to tell you the truth.
it's maintained.
That's
So
what the
you-
pictures
you-
look like on the
You're not gonna deny the
internet.
second story, but if you deny the playroom above, you're gonna have to say no heat.
Yep, no plumbing.
heat, no plumbing.
Mhm. No
Get the
habitable
kitchen-
space.
Get
Right.
the kitchen, remove the kitchen in the garage. There are two kitchens in the garage?
One kitchen in the garage, one in the main house.
Okay. Gotta get rid of the kitchen in the garage.
Okay, and, okay, so no playroom
Nope.
in the garage?
Nope.
Garage is for automobile storage only? No
Right.
heating or plumbing in the garage? No habitable space in the garage?
Correct.
Okay, so then we are granting everything, well,
The size of the garage.
yeah, so then you're granting it with conditions? Because I don't see what's denied then,
All right.
right? I'm just,
Characterize it as a grant with conditions, as long as we achieve the same result.
that's
The
correct.
verbiage,
But, I mean, is everyone on board? Because I just want to know then what we would be denying. If you're granting structure, lot area, side yards aggregate, you're permitting them to maintain a two-story garage with roof over patio and breezeway connecting to the dwelling, but you want to condition what goes on.
that's correct.
Okay.
And both sides.
connection between the main house
And staircase. It's that yeah, there's staircase in the breezeway, so, okay.
John,
He left.
And then the staircase too, though, is,
this is the addition.
Yeah, I could text it to you. Bye.
This isn't even what the plans look like. Here's the plans. Look what they built.
that's the old house, that's what we originally approved. After that, there was a subdivision of the lot next door. They acquired more land, converted the garage into living space,
And they took down this thing, this,
and then they had the breezeway.
does it have what?
Yeah, we could do that too.
No.
Do that too. Yeah.
3009, Judith. 3009, Judith.
There's a cafeteria downstairs. This is not carried. You like Indian food? I have little Indian food packages that you just give me. Tough brown. Tough brown. Jeez. There's some of the stuff in there too.
I don't see any reason to hold off for a week, if you want to know the truth.
Okay, so,
Go
let's
ahead.
do it. Let's do it.
Granted with condition.
Okay. And the
Somebody
conditions.
want to make that motion?
Huh?
Somebody want to make the
What,
motion?
what's gonna be granted?
So I think everything is granted, but with conditions. So they have to get rid of the kitchen, they have to get rid of the playroom upstairs. The garage is gonna be for automobile storage only.
And-
No heating, no plumbing, no habitable space in the garage.
Yep.
I mean,
And the
Pick Christina's brain on that.
Want to know the truth?
Nothing's
Well,
Correct.
God forbid,
Not habitable
something
space.
happens, we're covered.
Yeah, and
We
that's
were
the whole
told,
thing.
we told you, you don't have.
an extension of time request, Oceanside Public Library. They want to complete construction, grant 1 year. Thank you very much. And it's JP and, oh, Joanne, J.A.
And this is a request for a rehearing. We have a rehearing request.
Rehearing request?
So
No, I'm good.
we approved this case back in 2023. They just missed out on the extension of time. They had issues, change architects. They had other issues with the revisions that they were getting at the building department. They have a special needs child. I think it qualifies for a sui sponte.
Yeah, so it's a rehearing request, but I do believe it's in the board's discretion to do a sui sponte reopening or granting relief to restart.
Can we, is it a sui sponte to reopen or to grant them the extension of time?
Listen,
Which
we can do a sui sponte.
Which is easier?
We can do
or-
a sui sponte grant extension. Why can't we do that?
That's what I, yeah,
Yeah.
Vogel used to do that. He
This
pulled
was his
that one.
brainchild, not mine.
Yeah,
That was his.
he is a brainchild, that poor guy.
So would you like to then,
Vogel? He scares me. That guy scares me. I used to have fun with him, though. I would challenge him a lot. He,
we can do.
put it up, put it up. I do
He's
too.
awesome. He's so easy to mess with. It's so much fun. We tease him.
Oh, yeah.
I used to, you know.
He's a good guy.
We call him North Ensign. Prank.
I'm the host in the city Friday night, and I told him I'm not going.
Does.
I was invited to some dinner with him.
So, on this case, I would make a motion that we grant sua sponte for an extension of time.
Second.
How long?
1 year
All in
extension.
favor?
Aye.
I said that I have a class.
You can't spell sua sponte.
Oh,
SUASPLNTE.
That's what I know.
I ain't gonna
You would have done what I did.
I ain't gonna lie.
So